All right, so it sounds like we've done all that we can do in the technology department. All right, and by Verizon says it is 7 o'clock. So, all right. Well, it is, what the heck? Ram into that one. It is 7 o'clock. I'd like to call to order a regular meeting of the Brookfield Inland Wetlands Commission. Today is Monday, the 24th of October, 2022. My name is Sharon Fox. I act as the chair of the commission. With me to my right is Mr. Michael Neustadt, who is the commission vice chairman. Further down, Mr. Bob Hudeman, who is the commission's secretary. To my left, Mr. Dave Frankel, who is a regular member, and further down, Dr. John Donovan, who is an alternate. So there are 5 of us, so all 5 will be voting members this evening. Down on the far side is the town's wetlands enforcement officer, Ms. Rochelle Hadza. We do occasionally or usually have a recording secretary. She is unable to make it tonight, so Rochelle will be doing all sorts of things for us, for the commission and for everyone. With that, let's get on to the Inland Wetlands Officers Report. We've got, first thing, we have some active sites. We've got 731 Federal Road. Is anybody here representing 731 Federal Road today?
I can if you need me to.
Okay, just again, help if you, well, we can, yeah, go ahead.
Michelle Morris-Macaulay, Engineering, Brookfield.
So, I don't know if you had gotten these, Michelle, but there was one done on the 4th, and it says everything looks pretty good, but there was one little, site. Then there was one done on the 19th.
Yeah, I looked at this.
Did you? Yeah, and it looks like there's a couple of pictures and there's a couple of OOs, you know, maybe possible OOs.
I think
Yeah.
it's like some hills that are formed that she wanted filled in and just, some things that need to be cleaned out before they become potholes.
Yeah.
I will speak to, the owner. I know he's away this week, but I will talk to him and make sure they take care of it. I actually have a meeting out there tomorrow. So
Okay.
I'll go out there tomorrow. I'll walk it and go over everything with them.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate, Ms. Rabinowitz doing these, but it's really hard to tell if these got over to the applicant at the same time. I can't tell.
Oh, no, they did.
They did?
Yep, they're always emailed, to Mr. Lucera.
Okay.
I don't get a copy of them. I just see it on the agenda.
Yeah, you're welcome to.
I can certainly put you on if that would help.
Yeah, that probably would help me.
Okay, all right. I mean, I know everybody's worked so hard to get, I thought they had gotten rid of all the core logs since they weren't performing.
It's a mix. They did put mostly silt fence in. I think behind that core line was probably some silt fence. I'll have to look.
Yeah.
But I know Michelle and I walked out there and there was mostly silt fence out there.
Okay, yeah, hard to tell just from these
Well,
photos.
They left them in,
They left
Rochelle
them-
Hotz at the, in the wetlands. Business.
Yeah.
They did leave the core logs there, but,
They
they
cracked
used
it
it,
with silt.
and then they put, additional silt fence behind them.
Yeah, hard to see the silt fence in these little pictures. Might be further away, maybe I just can't see them, so.
I'll bring it with me. I have a site meeting out there tomorrow at 11, so when I go out there, I can talk to them. and
Okay.
walk them through and-
You're welcome to this, if you're going out there tomorrow. It's got a couple little not too much on it in my handwriting.
Other than that, there was nothing major.
No, there's no, it doesn't look like there's any breaches. It looks like there's the possibility.
Do you have the pictures as well?
Yeah, I think
Oh, they're there?
think,
Okay.
yeah,
Yep.
Okay, fine.
yeah, there were, I don't know, 7 or
It
8
does seem
pictures.
like in the future we'll have to coordinate better, because, for example, the soil scientist, Ms. Rabinowitz, who writes these reports, said that when they visited the site this last time, the gates were padlocked, which
Oh,
is
so
something
they're
new, or perhaps it was.
I know that so Mr. Lucera has 2 projects ongoing, and I believe he pulled most of the machines out to go focus on that other job for a couple weeks, so
I
they
see.
padlock it so that no one trespasses, so if she's gonna go out there, maybe she lets me
Yeah,
or
that's what I think we
Mr.
need to-
Lucera know, so we can make sure she can get into,
All right,
to
we'll
do an
coordinate.
inspection.
Yeah, we'll coordinate that. That's the first, so.
Yeah, cause like I said, they just moved everything over to a job in Newtown.
They broke in, so it was fine.
Okay.
all in the interest of the Still River, so that's okay.
But I can make sure, you know, him or someone will let
Yep.
us in.
Yeah,
so.
we'll just have to coordinate better. Very good.
Yeah.
All right, well, Michelle, again, I appreciate you volunteering on that, so. All right, and I know Mr. Lucera is keen about making sure there aren't any problems as anybody,
Yeah,
so,
we,
yeah.
whenever, if there, a problem arises, you know,
Yeah.
he's very responsive
Yeah.
and does
Yep.
what he has to do to correct the issue.
Yep, so just, I think it's just a matter of making sure everybody knows he's got a chance to take a look at it and deal with it. All right, anybody else have anything on 731 Federal Road that you saw? All right, and then the famous 100 Candlewood Lake Road, the school project. You see, they're having trouble getting flooring for the school. They're
Getting
having
what?
trouble getting flooring for the school.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that
there's-
and many other things.
And many other
Problem.
things, yeah.
So, Madam Chair, I've not been out to that site recently. I did report to this commission, the last time though, that the site was pleasantly surprised. I was pleasantly surprised that the site was now stabilized with, they put, you know, seed and, hay, or seed and, that fabric stuff that, you know, holds the earth down.
Can't
So
remember.
that, and the grass had taken root, so that was, I was very happy about that. I was there actually last time with Ms. Rabinowitz herself. I invited her to the site because, you know, I felt that there were things that, you know, needed somebody's professional attention. I just, you know, wasn't sure if I was seeing all the things that needed to be seen there. So, but she actually felt that the site was, by the time we had seen it with the grass, was, you know, quite well stabilized, and that, you know, any kind of, you know, attempt to, you know, possibly remove some of the silt that had crept toward the wall, the stone wall on the east side would really be fruitless and possibly just cause more, you know, more harm than really was necessary. You know, the site is an active site, and it's, you know, it's going to be undergoing a tremendous amount of changes, you know, again, because they will be removing those culverts from under the roadway, what will be the roadway, and, you know, that's going to be obviously, you know, when the site will be, again, you know, disturbed quite heavily.
Yeah, I'd like to get over there, but I know it's very active in the schools and such. It makes it hard for me to get over, because I don't even know. Do you know, I mean, did they get the Westbrook uncovered?
No, it's not.
It's still covered up, and I assume all the wetlands restoration is still in the future,
Yeah.
and the wetlands creation up on the northwest side is still
Yeah.
in the future, right?
Right, but for the time being, it's, to my knowledge, it is stable, because I was very concerned for a while there, because there was a lot of runoff, a lot of gullies being formed. But, you know, and they did respond, they reinforced the silt fence with additional silt fence, and then they added some trap rock where I, you know, noticed some particularly heavy gullies.
You know, let's see, it's not November, so I don't have to worry about that, but I'm trying to remember, like in the, you know, maybe in the spring or so. I know one of the things that they were gonna monitor, and the construction company was gonna monitor is turtles.
Yeah.
There are a lot of turtles in
Yep.
that area, so I don't quite remember, maybe somebody does, if we ask them to sort of give us an update on if they found any turtles, or, you know, how that process was actually working, but that's something that we should, you know, kind of keep in our, you know, forefront if they're seeing turtles, which I don't think, we're not gonna see too many right now, I wouldn't think, scampering.
No.
But probably in the spring.
Yeah, Sharon, October 31st ends the turtle searches.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't have to do it until,
Did-
then it kicks in.
So that was Jim McManus. Jim, did you tell the turtles that, about the date? Is it, maybe they got Apple Watches
I
now
said
and they can
remember.
tell.
Every year I said remember. I don't know if you read it.
They're afraid of the costumes.
Yeah, well, I said that was, I know, because you weren't here for that, but that was one of the big, you know, that was one of the elements of
Right.
the approval, is that they would have, this town would have their own monitor to be on the lookout for the turtles in addition to the,
Yes, the
Sedge.
sedge. Well, they do in fact have one, and I have spoken with him, that's Chris Mangle.
yeah, Chris Mangle.
He didn't mention the turtles the last time we spoke, but we did speak extensively about the sedge,
Yeah,
that's growing there. You know, he has concerns, you know, he unfortunately is not the greatest report writer, because I'm having trouble, you know, wrapping my head around exactly, you know, what his concerns are. I did offer to meet him out at the site, but unfortunately, we haven't been able to get a schedule that's.
Well, you know, maybe what we could do is, and maybe I'll have some time here, is we could actually come up with a little template for him, maybe. You know, date, what conditions, you know,
I
and
don't
maybe.
think he's been out there for some time. I mean, recently he went out, it's true.
Yeah.
Really, so, I don't know, and I don't know what this commission, I haven't read the,
I don't
How
remember,
often
I'd have to
does it
remember
go?
the exact schedule. We were
I'll have to
asking
go
them,
look.
we did ask about, you know, construction reports. I don't recall off the top of my head what the interval was.
yeah, I'll have to go back and.
Yeah,
You know, all right, I'll check.
so we can kind of refresh our memory on that. Do you
I-
remember, Dave?
I heard a report, I don't remember where, the school was supposed to open, give or take around the end of this year. Now it's been moved up
Yeah.
to the spring, so, you know, they're having construction delays or obstacles.
Yeah, but that shouldn't, yes, and that's true, but that's sort of in parallel to what I think our concern is, which
Mhm.
is, we did ask for written reports on, you know, the wetlands recreation. I don't know if we put an interval on it, I think it was more event-driven. You know, the wetlands restoration, the uncovering of the West Brook, and the wetlands creation. There's a restoration and a creation up on the other side.
All right, I'll go poll the permit and see what the conditions were.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, anybody want to add or ask about 100 Candlewood Lake Road? All right, that's that. All right, enforcement actions, again, we are still trying to get in contact with the owner at 35 Merwin Brook Road.
So Ms. Fox,
Yeah.
I spoke with the attorney about this one, and she did say that it would be possible if the commission, you know, thought it was a good idea or wanted to pursue this further. If we, and I mentioned it to you once before, and when you were
Yeah.
in your absence, and I haven't taken any
Have the
action
marshal.
since. But, yeah.
Yeah, have a marshal serve it.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
So, but that's providing we have a pretty good idea of where he might live, and I'm assuming that he's living with his girlfriend. I mean, I have an address that I believe is probably where he's living at the moment.
Okay.
So if the commission wants to spend that money to, you know,
Yes.
pursue that,
Yes, that is a very common expense for the
How much
commission.
is it?
about $250, whatever, I don't know, what is the market
That's-
cost?
We gotta get it to him, Dave.
With the increase in, you
Yeah.
know, prices, it might be slightly more, or double, but
Yeah.
overall.
Yeah, no, I mean, we gotta get it to him.
Right, well,
That's a property that could get very bad,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they grubbed right down
Well,
to
and,
that
you know,
little
he's a
stream.
prior offender.
Yeah,
You know, he has a violation from this commission.
Yeah.
So, you know, the same exact thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's something we
Does,
should.
do we need a motion to
I don't think so.
issue? No.
I'll
Yeah,
just
I
go
would
ahead.
certainly be in favor of it, though.
All right.
Yeah, we gotta get it to him. This gotta
I
get
will pull
cleared
that
up.
together.
This gotta get cleared up.
I'll pull that
Yeah, I
together.
was gonna say, how much longer are we gonna keep this on the
We're gonna keep it till it gets,
calendar?
till it
Yeah.
gets resolved.
Yeah, I agree. I think
We
it should
cannot
stay on
forget
the
this.
agenda.
Mhm.
We cannot forget this one. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm grateful, because I think it was a combination of Michael and the whole commission, and Michelle put it on the agenda so that it is not forgotten.
Right.
It doesn't get, you know, doesn't fall into the distant memories. Anything else, 35?
Do we have to make a motion on that?
No. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, we can leave it to,
Well, I suppose in a way you're authorizing me to spend money. I
yeah.
don't know,
All right, well then, I'll make a
There's no
motion,
harm.
I'll make a motion then to enable the Wetlands Enforcement Officer on her judgment to engage a marshal from the state of Connecticut to serve the notice of violation to the property owner for 35 Merwin Brook Road.
I'll second that.
Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous. 5-0. Okay, good. All right, next we have is 42 Arapahoe Road. Is there someone here from 42 Arapahoe Road? Great. You guys can stay there. If you want to get closer, you can grab a chair. It's up to you. Oh, what's that? Yeah, well then
So
grab
bring
a
the
chair.
car.
We can get you, I don't know if that lovely lady is your wife?
Okay, yes,
Okay.
it is.
We can get her a chair too. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
His wife's
sit
My
down?
hearing
Yep,
is-
I feel like
absolutely.
a criminal, so don't.
No, 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 no. You know, we're all volunteers, right? We're all
No,
your
I don't-
neighbors?
I don't know anything about you.
Oh, well, good,
Well,
good.
the learning curve is steep, but
Well,
we're easy.
How come my son was on the board of, what's the one, the school board?
the school
Board
board?
of
okay.
Education.
Board of Ed?
Board, yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah, I think Board of Ed,
It's a
yeah.
thing I remember, it was a few years back. I know.
Good for him, volunteer
He
commission,
went to all
so.
the schools, I think, he wanted to put his fingerprint on it.
So, well, again, we're all volunteers here. So I don't know, usually the way these things work, I don't know if you had a chance to absorb
She
this.
just- Yeah, she just went through it with me, but I,
Yeah, you can look at mine if you want. I said, this is a,
tell me what I should do with it.
yeah, well, let's, I said, just make sure everybody's up to date. Usually what we'd like to do is, I know Rochelle was out there. Why don't we give Rochelle an opportunity just to share what she saw? Maybe should mirror what you see in the letter, and then we'd like to hear, you know, what happened from your side, and then we'll go from there. How's
I
that?
can tell you what I think I did, and you can tell me that you were stupid, but I.
Okay. Well, we won't say
I like
that.
ignorant
Don't
people.
worry, we won't say that.
I wouldn't be here if I was smart, I would come down and ask for some guidance.
Everybody does the best they can, but we can certainly go forward. So Rochelle, why don't you tell us what happened here?
Sure, thank you, Madam Chair. So I received a phone, I'm sorry, I received an email from, somebody who lives in the neighborhood, alerting me to, clearing of the wetlands, in that area. So I drove over there on, September 26th. Does that say September 26th or the 23rd? Possibly.
23rd.
Okay, the 23rd, to take a look at what was going on, and there was some kind of a big machine with a big claw, you know, going like this and taking out all the brush.
Okay.
And there, you know, the ground was being cleared, as you can see in the photograph. I tried to wave down the person who was doing the work, but, you know, either they didn't see me or they, you know, just continued to. But so I just simply left the site. As you know, I can't enter someone's,
Right.
you know, private grounds
boy.
without permission.
Right.
So then a few days later, possibly a week later, so I prepared the violation, and then I received another email, I think, from this man saying that I think rocks were being put in there. You know, I have not seen. I don't know anything about the rocks, but anyway, but I'm, you know, very pleased that the Fentons are here tonight. You know, they apparently were not aware that this was a violation, so here they are.
Okay. All right. Any of that sound familiar, Mr. Fenton?
I was just trying to clear out a bunch of brush,
Okay.
and one thing, because I don't want to make somebody agree to something that I really didn't do, and this is not a.
Yeah.
But when we had a storm a long time ago, last big storm,
Yeah.
a tree came down from the house.
Okay.
When we were out, we come home, and somebody cut it all up and piled it in the front lawn, or
Okay.
right next to the road, not the front lawn,
Okay.
okay? And that could have led somebody to believe I cut that down. Now, I
Okay.
will also admit that I cut down 2 dead trees out of the area that we're looking at.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Okay, but as far as anything else, the rest was digging out some stumps from over years and years and years that were in there. Just as that, the stuff that precipitated this whole mess was 2 types of brushes. One is wild roses.
Yep.
And if you've ever seen wild roses, once they get their hands on
They're not
something,
nice, no.
well, it got so you couldn't mow the lawn on either side because it was grabbing you.
Yeah.
And if you left it there, it just kept coming out and coming out. I had, like, we had one pile in the front. It was, I call it the size of a 1960 Buick Roadmaster station wagon.
Yeah.
If anybody's old enough. And that's making it smaller than it really was.
It's nasty. It might be floribunda rose. It's rather
It-
nasty
it-
invasives, yeah.
It was just, you couldn't even wear a heavy shirt because that thing with the hooks on them.
Yeah.
Everybody's ever been grabbed by one. So most of that was getting rid of that all over the place.
Okay.
And the other was this tall type of thing that came up. And I used to get it with the loppers.
Okay.
And somebody told me one time, all you're doing is encouraging it to grow more.
Oh.
It turns out, he was right.
Uh-huh.
It goes this way. But the brush that was taken over, so I had them dig out the stumps, take down the 2 dead trees, and I can show you a picture of the place. I left a tree there. You say, why did you take that one down? because I just didn't want to, how's that?
Yeah,
But it was tall with only branches at the top, that's really what it is, you know? So, yeah, there was a pile of wood there, and it certainly would lead me to believe that wood was, you know, somebody was in there working, it was cut down, big thing like this was went across the road. The little junk was stuff, I'll call it junk, that size, they're just dead. And he dug out a lot of stumps that over years were there, just to mow around them and stuff like that. You know, so but at one point, if I'd taken a picture, I wish I had, you couldn't, from my front window, you couldn't see the road at all. I mean, you didn't know it was there, and if you drove by my
Yeah,
house,
this is
you
all-
didn't know the house was there.
this is your home, right, and that's Arapahoe, so the area is in this is the front area where all this is taking place? Is that, can you?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes, ma'am. That's all I have to say. It's, I mean, ignorance is what I should have come in, had somebody walk through it with me, say, this is what I want to do. I didn't know enough to do that.
yeah,
And
is
I'm
this,
guilty.
there's there's like a little, like a tiny little excavator, is that you? Is that you on
was
it? Yeah, but, so you hired a guy?
What?
You hired a guy to do this?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
It
gonna,
is a tiny little, well, the reason I got the guy was, is quite honestly, was because
Yeah.
he was the only one that would do it that had a small machine.
yeah,
And I said, you're gonna put something in there, I'll have nothing left when you're finished. you
Yeah.
know? So he is a real landscaper, not a. he doesn't build
Excavator, not a
foundations.
contractor.
He's just- That's all he does.
I'll mention something to you, Mr. Fenton. I've been doing this, either wetlands or zoning, since 1997 in this town. I have never met a contractor that was not aware of wetlands. And they were not aware that they need to be mindful of wetlands. I've never, of all the contractors that have sat here and there and here and all of
I
that.
hired the
I've-
wrong guy.
Well, I'm just
Or he
passing
didn't
that
tell me.
along.
No.
I'm passing that along.
No,
Yeah, because many contractors, will have in their standard contract, whom is getting the permits for this. So I'll just pass that along,
second mistake.
yeah.
Was the contractor from Brookfield or elsewhere?
No, he's not from Brookfield.
Yeah.
He's not.
But I'm telling you, I've never met one. I never met a contractor that was not aware of,
A
Zoning
friend
and
of mine-
wetlands.
A friend of mine's a good plumber, and he said, this guy does some nice work.
okay,
And so I talked to him, and I trusted his, whatever,
okay.
his assessment.
All right, so it looks,
I'm not gonna live long enough to do anything else.
well, none of us knows we're gonna make it to tomorrow, right? So this is the area, and this is where the road, the Bramble Rose came out,
boy,
and,
yeah.
okay.
I hate to say that, nastiness.
It is not, it's invasive species, it was,
But it grows fast
it
once
does.
it gets going.
yeah, it's pretty unnice. And you say there were 2 trees that came down?
There were 2 dead trees that
2
were
dead
taken down.
trees, okay, and then you,
That I told him to take down.
yeah, and those you pulled the stumps on those too?
Pulled the stumps, and there were stumps in there from previous storms, believe it or not. I got stumps from storms
Okay,
over the years, and he dug all those out.
okay. We've looked at this map here. Do you know what these are? What these are? They're GIS maps, and they're maps that are available to the town. They're from the state of Connecticut. And what they using pictures and other known information, they will overlay all the lots in Brookfield, actually every town in Connecticut, with the very, very likely areas of wetlands.
Okay, I don't
Okay.
know really that at all.
Yeah, well, that's what this map is. It's not a town of Brookfield map. It's not a town, or it's not your map. It's a map that's made available to us from the state of Connecticut, from the DEP. So these are usually, pretty precise. They're not exactly precise. I mean, sometimes we've seen them 10, 20, 30 feet off. But we know this particular area over where you guys live, and there are lots of wetlands in that area. So when was your house built? Do you know? 85, 86,
Yeah,
so that's
84, I think.
84?
But I could be off by a couple of years, not
Okay.
the other way, I think.
But we were there since 97.
Okay, well, it's very 84-ish is probably it's just about the time wetlands
Yes.
is getting put in place in Brookfield. So it's very likely, well, we'd have to go back and look, and there might be some records back there, that when your home was built, a Connecticut soil scientist who has certification went through through the lot for the owner who did the building in '84 and dug some holes and determined where the wetlands are. That's a possibility. It doesn't, maybe you guys never saw that map of, when you bought your home, okay.
We have
I've walked through there a lot.
Yeah.
Trying to trim, but that's about the closest I've come to
Yeah.
paying any attention to it.
Right, and the reality is that wetland soils don't always have to have standing water in them.
Yeah.
You wouldn't necessarily think of them as a puddle,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
example. I mean, they're based on the soil characteristics.
because this is not wet at all.
It doesn't have to be wet, that's why I'm
Doesn't have to be
mentioning
like
that.
you think it's wet.
Yeah,
Doesn't
it
have
doesn't
to be
have to
soggy.
have standing water in it for it to be wetlands. Connecticut, the state of Connecticut uses their soil characteristics that actually determine wetlands. That's why they have to go dig holes, and look at the soil, and with their credentials and their background, that's how they would say there's wetlands here. And I said, there's almost certainly wetlands on your property. Is this the exact marking? Not sure, but I'm gonna tell you from our experience, it's very close. Okay, we can possibly go back and look at what was done when the house was built in '84 and see if wetlands was in place, because if there was, there would actually have been a lot here, and there would have been lines and what they call wetlands flags, the wetlands would have been mapped. But that's probably neither here nor there. The reality is you do have wetlands
Okay.
in the front of your property, so now we have to figure out what should we do.
All right, I'm interested.
Yeah. I mean, the good news is, it's only 2 trees that came down, right, and 2 stumps that are out. I can
Well,
under,
there wasn't, the 2 trees that were taken down honestly were dead.
yeah, here's the thing, though, dead trees are what Mother Nature does.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, and they actually, they provide a great deal of support to animals and such that live in these areas. Actually, dead trees standing ends up with a lot of insects,
Yep.
and woodpeckers.
Absolutely.
Woodpeckers love dead trees. They love dead trees.
I've made a mistake taking down a dead tree.
Yeah,
They don't go with lime trees.
they love live trees, but they do love the dead ones too, because that's where a lot of insects end up, as I mentioned. So
Once they come down, then I can cut them up?
if they're in the wetlands, you gotta come back here and let us know,
Oh, okay.
okay? It's anything that happens, that's what I think Rochelle was trying to get on this letter. Anything that happens in this area, actually, anything that happens within a 75-foot buffer around this area, because the state of Connecticut allows what they call an upland review area.
What do you mean my house?
Well, your home is, I don't know from
Yeah.
here to here, but there's a buffer around the wetlands. So anything that happens in the buffer zone, the 75-foot buffer zone around the wetlands requires a wetlands permit,
Okay.
okay? So it might be, like I said, do
But
they?
The point is, that this was mostly clear when we
Yeah, but
moved
those-
in
she just said- I
25
was just
years
asking a
ago.
question.
It may have been, I wasn't here, it may have
Yeah.
been.
Just to-
Is it, so now I understand. Anything
Yeah.
happens in there, that's it.
Anything,
Come down,
yeah,
what just happened,
anything,
what
a
happens to it?
tree that comes down, I mean, obviously, I don't know how
Hopefully
close
the
this.
ignorance is gone.
Yeah,
just
I mean,
know
if it
that.
comes across your driveway, for example, we want you to be able to get out. So, I mean, if something came across your driveway, that's a wholly different situation.
We
Get the,
just had one of those last year.
get the tree out and then come talk to us, okay?
We had a nice guy, my nephew knows.
Yeah.
The tree came across the driveway, I couldn't get out.
Right, that's what I'm
And that
saying.
was when he was getting, I don't know, he said $175 an hour for the chipper and he was making all kinds of money. He actually stopped and came over the house because
Yeah,
I said, otherwise I was gonna be there for a week.
right,
That's
well,
okay, though.
we don't want that. If you end up with a tree,
Now, you're saying anything happens within the confines of that area,
we need to know about
Okay,
it,
I'll just
okay?
go down
And there's an application.
talk to somebody.
Yeah, what you call it, pick up the phone, call the land use
Yeah.
office. Like I said, if
That's-
you're planning to do something, we need to know about it. If you've got an
I figured
emer,
that already.
yeah, okay, you got an emergency situation with the tree across the road, take the tree out so you can get out of there, and then let us know, okay, in that order.
Actually, all he did was take out the section that was in the driveway.
Yeah, right, and come back later, because this wetlands here looks like, extends going this way. So, I think I'm thinking, let me ask my colleagues what they're thinking while I'm thinking. I have an idea, but I don't wanna jump here, so.
Well, certainly, even though it's late, would it make sense to get a application as listing what you've already done?
Yes,
I
Yeah.
should have, so I should
Yeah.
do it.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
How can
so
I
let's
do
at
that?
least get that on the record.
right.
And anything else you might want to be doing there, if you want to replant something. I'm not telling you to do it, I'm just saying everything you've already done, plus anything you think you might want to do in the near future.
Can I ask
On-
a question, not to interrupt you?
Yeah.
Sure.
Because you just maybe I'll forget it. See,
Well,
I was thinking about putting a couple of pine tree,
right,
baby pine trees in there.
yep,
Okay.
Yeah, that would,
Yep.
you
Because-
know,
Yep.
Put that on the application.
put it on the
Put it on the application.
So
Yeah.
all I do is come down and apply to
Yeah,
put
the
it in.
well, you know,
application's pretty
usually
simple,
what
pretty
we
simple.
look
It asks
for
for
is
just-
the same sort of tree that went down. But, you know, as long as you're volunteering, that would, you know,
Yeah, we would
a
be-
couple of new trees for
that
the
was
ones you.
another thing
Yeah,
we
that
would
would be a
probably
good idea, and
say
you volunteered it.
of
I-
adding
I like the
some-
long needled ones, I like those,
yeah,
Yeah.
because they look
Yeah.
the best.
White
in my
pine?
opinion.
Well,
Yeah, the
Are
white
you
pines.
okay
I like
with
the
that?
trees too.
yeah, the
Put-
white pines, yeah.
Put what the application's pretty simple. It asks for a description of your property, and if you need any help filling it out, just ask someone in the land use.
But I can come down and see her.
Of
where
course,
I wanna put
of
them.
course.
And
Yeah.
then she'd give me a permit.
And,
Yep.
well,
Yeah.
she'll bring your application
Yeah.
to us,
Okay.
and we'll look at it, and if we'd like some things to be changed, we might mention it to you.
So I
And
just- that's how simple it
that
is.
would be the
Yeah.
direction
Okay.
Simple.
to go.
Yeah, the application, this is someone else's, it's not, well, you know, it's an application like this, your name and your address and what the
Yeah,
property
yeah.
looks like, we'll attach that. If-
And just
Do you
once-
have can I give him this one?
Oh, yes, of course.
Why don't you take this?
So I put a circle on it
Yep.
where I plan to put
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, put a circle on there where you plan to, like I said, where you plan to put them. They'll help you with the application, there's a very modest amount of money, comes to the town, also goes to the state. You know, with it, and we'll take a look at that. As Mr. Newstat was saying, we'll take a look at it, if it seems reasonable, you know, as a part of the restoration
Yep.
plan,
Yep.
then we'd approve the application, and the notice of violation would go away at that time.
I'm gonna have Mr. Hollandia come over and plant them.
Yep,
Eugene.
And I show him my permit.
yeah, when you show him your permit, yeah, because he would ask.
Yeah.
Who's Mr. Orlando?
Hollandia.
Yeah,
The Hollandia
I come,
nursery.
I come from a
It's
world
a,
of
it's a
rules. I work
very
for
nice,
Lockheed
very
Martin,
high-end
Okay,
nursery.
yeah.
which is top secret.
they love that stuff.
Who'd you work for?
F-117.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
The
sorry.
skunk works up in Mojave
You,
Desert.
you know, I'm,
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad you
The
volunteered.
F-117,
Oh, yeah,
the
sure.
U-2, for those of us who don't know what a U-2 is.
Yep.
You and Johnson.
71.
Yep,
Yeah, you and Johnson, right?
All of my air
You and John- You and Johnson?
You know, I'm
Gary,
glad you volunteered the trees, that is good. You know, when you look back, it probably wasn't even worth doing it, you know, clearing it out. It just wasn't worth the aggravation of it, you know?
Did you know Gary Powers?
No,
You know who he is, though.
no.
You
Oh,
know,
he's the-
did you know who
you know
Johnson
what?
was?
he's the
He
guy
was
they,
the- who he
the guy who
was.
Yes,
crashed.
he was the
No, I'll
pilot
tell you
who
a
went
story.
down.
I'll tell you a
Who's
story,
that?
Yeah,
all
I
right?
went to
I
high
worked
school
for
with him.
PerkinElmer at the
Yeah.
time, building the camera that was in the U-2.
Oh,
They
interesting.
call it the Brownie camera, believe it or not.
Yeah, you and Vic
And
Delgado?
I worked on it.
Yeah,
I worked on testing it.
yeah.
I was very young, just out of school. Actually worked on testing the one, and I remember the first test pictures we ever got to see.
Mhm.
They gotta give us some.
Yep.
and it's no longer top secret, was the airplane flying over Washington DC. The parking lot, with a guy a pack of Marlboros in his hand, it was at 20,000 feet.
And you could read the Marlboro.
And we could identify the kind of cigarettes he had, when he was
Amazing.
walking up to his car.
yeah,
That was a real breakthrough in those times, believe
Right.
me. That was the one that gave Kennedy the ability to confront Khrushchev, because we got pictures of the tire tracks in the mud.
Hmm.
It's not secret anymore, so, in the mud.
Hope
By
not.
taking those tire tracks, giving them to the CIA and everybody else, they found out what factory that tire was made in, and what they were made for, and they were made to haul rockets.
our tax dollars at work.
That's why, John, that's why President Kennedy was able to say, "You doing it."
Yeah,
All right.
Irrevocable news.
Right.
Did you know,
okay.
You know, you might say something to your contractor, because He should have said to you.
He should have, yeah.
I should have known.
I sort of have a little gripe with him
Yeah.
about that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I believe you were quite innocent in terms
I
of
was
what was
ignorant,
going
not
on.
innocent.
All right, well, yes,
I did
ignorant,
something.
yeah, but,
Ignorance is no excuse.
All right, so here's the process. This week, can you,
I
with
can
this
have
week,
this, right?
you can have all that, yep. This week, if you could, give the land use office a call. They'll tell you how to get a hold of the application. It's online, and they can help you with that. They can help you with filling it out. There said there is a fee for the town and a fee to the state. They'll tell you what those fees are. Think about, 3 trees, 3 pine trees, 2 pine trees, an
That-
oak
that we can
tree.
do in spring.
Yeah, whatever, you can do it in the spring, fine.
Come down and see her.
Yep, so you get the application, you get that, it'll be on our agenda, we're gonna track this. If you can get all that done by our next meeting, which is on
I think it's the
14th?
Yeah.
It's too,
But they won't plant them until spring, will they?
understand, no,
Yep,
this is
yep.
the application, this is
Oh,
the
okay,
plan,
fill out the
yep, this is
application.
just the plan,
Okay.
yep,
Can I go get one from her,
yep.
and
from
she
the-
helps me do it?
Yep, well, they'll help you,
14th.
yep. They'll help you. And so you'll write on the plan that you're gonna plant X number of trees,
Yep.
make a little mark where they're gonna go.
Yep.
That application will then show up on our agenda on the 14th,
Okay.
okay? We will discuss it, you're welcome to come, it'd be great if you could. If it appears satisfactory to a majority of us, we'll approve your plan. The notice of violation will continue until the spring, when the trees are planted.
Okay.
Okay, and then you'll let us know that the trees are planted. Rochelle, or someone like Rochelle will come out and say, yep, there they are.
Take a picture?
They will probably take a picture of them, and then that would probably clear the violation. Sound like makes sense?
Makes sense to me.
Okay.
And thank you so much for being cooperative.
Well, you guys are good too,
We
We're all
are.
in the same town.
We're trying to protect
Yep.
our resources.
I just learned an awful lot.
Yeah, well,
Don't
like I said,
trust any contractor, is that what you really just said?
what's that?
Don't trust any contractor?
Well,
Well, you,
it's,
no, you just have to ask questions, basically, and get references.
I can only tell you, most contractors, the agreements I do, it's like the first paragraph, who's getting the permit.
And also I learned that you can't touch anything up there.
You want it,
Unless I tell
unless
you
you
I'm
come
gonna do
here,
it.
unless you tell us and we, like I said, and we agree,
All right,
okay?
so I just go see,
Yeah, just pick up the phone
Yeah.
and they'll pick up the phone, call the land use office, and you'll either get Rochelle or we have, the administrator is Christine Murphy.
okay, so I get a permit to put the trees in the spring, they put them in.
Yep.
That's wonderful.
Okay?
You guys are nice.
Yeah.
Well, again, these wetlands, they belong to you, they belong to me, they belong to everybody in the state of Connecticut.
I'll tell you something, one more little story.
What?
My son, when we moved, was 5 when we moved in there.
Yeah,
You was a what?
It was
5.
5.
All right, now I'll tell you, my son loves the outdoors, and I'll tell you a story, follow that up. But we had a Rottweiler, and that was my son's best friend,
yeah,
and he would, when a stranger come in the house, he'd put his body between them and the
Yep.
5-year-old.
yep.
We left him at the house with the Rottweiler, it was late in the afternoon. Oh, terrible, but he was protected, believe me.
Yeah, they are.
We went down to the supermarket, came back, we couldn't find him in the house.
The Rottweiler?
No, my son,
Oh,
my 5-year-old.
oh,
We went
What
out-
about the dog?
We went out looking for him, and he was in the woods.
oh,
And what are you doing out here? I feel safe out here.
Huh.
Didn't feel safe in the house. One morning we're looking for him when he was in high school, and he loves the pheasant hunt,
okay.
but he also loves something else, which is really funny. He gets up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I asked him why. I found him missing. Oh, he's up. I got a text message from him. I'm up on Skip Mountain hunting,
Okay.
pheasant hunting. And he says he sent us a picture. It was a picture of the sun coming up over the rise, and he says that's
That's
why I'm
great.
here.
That's why
All
you're
right,
there.
well, again, thank you very much.
Okay.
We
so
want to
much.
do
All right.
a,
Did you know Vic
Yeah.
Delgado?
Yeah.
okay,
Did you know Vic Delgado?
So, like.
He worked
go
on the
ahead.
U2 also.
Yeah, go ahead.
okay.
U2
No,
camera.
him I didn't
Okay.
know.
I'll
You
make,
guys, we're gonna move along here.
What about Johnson?
All right,
Mr. Fenton, we
I
gotta,
didn't work- I
Mr.
worked
Fenton.
on it.
Mr.
I worked on
Fenton.
Excuse
a
us.
project.
Yeah.
Okay.
We gotta-
Yeah, we
need
gotta
to
move.
move on to
Okay.
new
I know.
Right.
What I did, The F-170 assembly, disassembly manual
All
is 5,000 pages.
Okay.
And the company called me and
Okay.
to computerize it. They wanted to be able
We
to have
really
it.
We
need
gotta
to
get
go on.
going.
We have to.
We gotta get going, we got all these people to take care of, Mr. Fenton.
Thank you very much.
Another time.
All right,
Thank
we'll
you.
just
Yeah.
continue it, leave it on as enforcement, David, okay?
Without a motion?
Yeah, no, you can, yeah, you can do it.
Okay, I'll make a motion on 42 Arapahoe Road, regarding the violation sent September 23rd, 2022 to Thomas J. Fenton and Elizabeth J. Fenton to be continued to our,
Remain on it as enforcement. We continued and remain as enforcement.
and remain enforcement to our next meeting, which will be November 14th.
Okay.
Okay, Bob, I don't know, Rochelle, did you hear that? We made a motion to continue and leave it on as enforcement. David made it, Bob seconded it.
Thank you.
All right, so again, all those in favor of the
Aye.
motion?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous.
Yeah.
58 Old Grays Bridge
We
Road.
kind of forgot about that.
No, we didn't.
Okay, good.
Yeah, this is
Well,
the
it
one.
hadn't been on for some time, so
Well, I don't think it's on.
I asked her to put it on.
Fine, fine,
Okay.
fine. Yeah, that
So
I'm
we can
aware,
just-
that I recall.
Yeah,
It is not an enforcement action. It's an item associated with the completion of the application, but there's no problem having it here
okay.
to keep
So,
us familiar with it.
because we had not heard in quite some time of the progress in removing the contaminated soil.
Yeah,
And I thought it would be
no, I
good
think,
to get that report.
no, I think that's a very good, idea. I know it's a big project, and they cannot get their final approvals on this until that soil is taken care of and the wetlands creation is complete. So that is and that's back in the file too. I mean, if he came in looking for COs and all that happy stuff, he can't get them until, and this is a terrible problem that he
Oh, it is.
inherited,
Very,
and
very much aware.
yeah, and I'm grateful that he's, that the circumstances are allowing a property owner to clean up a mess, on the Still River. I mean, I think he was aware of it when he purchased it, but still, I'm very grateful he's getting whatever that nasty stuff is, nickel and all kinds of nasty molybdenum crap out of there.
Rochelle, you did contact him?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just my email,
Okay.
Mr. Newstead, but he did respond right away, and
Mhm.
I also then spoke to his LEP, licensed environmental professional, who, Rusty Rienzo, who is working on the project still, but, it's apparently stuck in, the deep, no pun intended,
Yeah.
it's stuck in, there's a lot of, because of the fact it's an environmental concern, they have to really work with the deep rather than, at a state level, so, there's all kinds of hurdles there, but, he's still actively involved in that, and, but, it's a lot of paperwork and, that kind of,
Okay.
so.
Well, the last report I remember was that he had difficulties with the contractor who was taking the contaminated soil, and he was looking for someone else. Do you know the status of that?
No, I don't know, but
Okay.
as I mentioned last, one of the last meetings,
Yeah.
there's all
Okay.
kinds of
But they're still working on it.
yeah.
So
I
we
mean,
can
it's really, I don't think there's any, when we say they're still working on it, there's no activity at the site.
Okay.
In that sense, they're not, because it's, finding someone to take away that soil and then, paying for it, quite,
Mm.
so.
Right. I mean, I don't actually know if he needs for the, he was doing some work, there were doors, I think he
Yeah,
was gonna
there is
put,
some
there's
work that he
doors,
could
so he's
do.
eventually gonna need a CO. Yeah, he's,
And didn't he complete a road so his trucks can get to the back of the building?
and fire.
Which we.
It was fire. That's what, for me anyways, that was, the fire trucks
Trucks, yeah.
needed to be able to get to the
Exactly.
back.
Right, that
But
was,
we did approve that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We
that
did.
application, I looked at that one,
yeah,
Yeah.
and that one was approved.
yeah. I said
Okay.
it was the fire department. There was a
Right.
big,
Mhm.
huge building. And so it was one of those ones where you had to get the fire guys to the
And
back.
who knows what's in it?
And, well, I'm sure they will know,
Yeah.
because I'm sure the applicant will keep good placards on the buildings, but that's what that was.
Okay.
Can we get your picture back to you?
Sure,
Yeah.
thank you.
All right, so that's it.
Okay.
Again, we do make, Rochelle has asked us if we see anything around town that we want her to take a look at. She's asked us to use the online form, but is anybody pending on any of that stuff while
Rochelle,
we're
we-
all together?
We spoke briefly a few weeks ago, and you said it was taken care of. It seems to be cleared up. Near the Four Corners where the water was coming out onto the road.
Oh, yes, yeah,
And they had just blocked it off with some cones,
right,
but it seemed to be coming out from the site.
yeah, that's quite an issue there.
Where's that, Mark?
That is, what's the
Okay.
actual address of that?
What's that address? Station
on
Road?
Station Road,
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't remember
Oh.
them, but the new buildings on Station Road,
Oh,
that we were very concerned because the driveway was very close to the wetlands.
yeah.
On the Station Road side
Just flooded.
of this, flooded the road. Station Road was under a couple of inches of water.
Huh.
It looked like it was running off the site. I
Running
called
north?
Rochelle.
Huh.
She went out there and said there was a drainage problem there, but they have now cleared it up.
Oh, so it's actually quite bad. In fact, I got a call from the Public Works Director, Ralph Tedesco?
Tedesco.
No, I'm gone a week and I forget his name.
Mm.
Who, asked me for the contact information because there was water all over the road. I mean, it was really bad. And
Wow.
so, I gave him the name of the contractor and, he called him and, they, fixed it up. They worked it out. But, yeah, there have been, and I had other complaints too about that site where they were saying that there's a lot of tracking of, dirt
Oh, yeah.
from silt or dirt from the, site, so,
Huh.
I had them beef up the, anti-tracking pad. So there've been a couple of complaints about it, but they too, like, Mr. Lucera, but, very responsive. But I think it was quite surprising for many people that, the site had, blown out like it had.
I wonder if we should ask them, and they could explain to us what happened.
Well, I guess I could talk to Ralph too. I mean, he was the one who was, because it was all over the road, I mean, Ralph was the one, who responded to that and,
No, personally, I'd rather hear it firsthand.
okay.
Yeah, I would love to ask, in your spare time, ask them to come in and explain what happened. Maybe there's a lesson to be learned here, maybe there's some changes that need to be considered.
Didn't they appear before the commission a few months ago with tentative plans? They didn't formally apply.
Yeah,
But was
We were very concerned, but they did do a lot to put in a protection. There was even I don't know, was it a wooden wall or
A retaining wall,
a
we moved
retaining
away
wall of
from the
sorts,
wetlands,
yeah.
right?
This is the opposite side of the property, the opposite side of the building,
Yeah.
along the road. I couldn't tell from the road where the water was coming from, other than it was coming off that site.
Huh.
I agree
So,
with you.
Mr.
I agree with you, Mike. Yeah.
Huh.
Mr. Matt Moran of Unicorn Contracting, responded to, Ralph's concern. I emailed, Ralph the phone number, and, he said, he wrote to me, I have included the site contractor on this, okay. We have an interim pipe, but not taking the big storm. The pipe is not taking the big storm. We have ordered the permanent pipes and also will be working on a better interim solution within the week. This was back on 10/5. This flooding will be resolved in short order. This will not be a problem in the winter. Ralph is concerned about, obviously, ice, if all that water freezes. We will have a solution within the next week, and to my knowledge, they have resolved the problem.
There might be a site plan modification though associated with that.
They were,
I think the problem was as is typically the case, it was during the construction that, plans, in other words, permanent pipes, are engineered very well, but it tends to be during construction that these kinds of problems arise that are unforeseen, when the ground is exposed, so, whatever interim pipe they had was clearly undersized.
they were clearly aware of it before we brought it to
Well,
their attention,
nevertheless,
because they
though, I
had
mean,
cones out and
Yeah.
such, so.
I had
Yeah.
no idea this was happening. Nevertheless, these are the sorts of things
Mhm.
that we don't want to have happen.
Exactly.
Because there is a construction sequence and construction, soil and erosion,
Mhm.
sedimentation controls that are supposed to preclude these things
Yeah,
from
it should be in
happening.
place before.
We shouldn't have these problems,
Mhm.
because, so I think all the more reason, right, all the more reason to ask them to come in, I mean, particularly about a site plan, either some kind of modification, or at least to understand what happened, and is it possible, to remind them that if they're gonna make some changes, because that was a very complicated stormwater management plan on that thing. There was some water going this way, there was water going that way, there was water going this way, this was part of it over here, and part of it was very complicated, and maybe that plan,
Needs revision.
reality is not, is gonna not bear it out.
Needs revision.
Right. Those are the kinds of things too. I mean,
Mhm.
Rochelle, I don't know how you feel, but those kinds of things they could be violations as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. Anyways, I look forward to seeing them.
So what would the commission like me to do?
I would like to, I would like to have them come in, and they can do it, we'll put them on early, we'll put them on under enforcement. I'd like to understand what happened. What happened that couldn't have been planned for.
Okay, so you don't, all right, so that you want them to appear before the commission?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, those are the kinds of things, like I said, that if they happen, those can be violations. I mean, even during construction, you got water from wetlands, who knows where this stuff is coming from? I mean, they can be violations, so I don't think we need that at this
Well,
moment,
I
but
guess it would depend
this
on
is a friendly
whether
request.
they did it properly and something happened that was uncontrollable, or they didn't do what they were supposed to do.
We don't know.
Yeah,
That's so.
but you're right.
It's a friendly request.
To help us,
Help them.
help them.
Help them, right?
Yes. Do we
Okay.
want a motion on that? or
No, I don't think
No.
we need one. But if their schedule isn't flexible enough, then maybe we will.
Okay. Well, it wouldn't hurt if they came in for the next meeting.
It wouldn't hurt. It would be great for us to help them. Right.
Shall we put that in the letter of
It's in the
appearance?
minutes. Yeah, it's in the minutes, so. It'll be in the minutes.
And I already sent him an
No.
email, so.
Oh,
So we
okay.
already, to appear at the next meeting.
All right, anything else?
Well, Madam Chair, I
Yes.
just have a few things, not enforcement so much as my report, I guess that was really the first thing, but I did approve a new septic system, which was partially in the upland area. The septic system is required by the health department, and that was the area that was available for the new septic system. The old septic system had failed. I did approve that with conditions, no trees larger than 2 inches in diameter were to be removed. There was a very heavily wooded wetlands that, barrier.
What address was that?
82 Laurel Hill Road.
Okay.
And that, if any unforeseen, disturbance, was required because of, if any disturbance would be required because of unforeseen, conditions, that they'd have to come in for a modification and go before the commission, and that, of course, all standard stipulations would apply. So that was 82 Laurel Hill Road. I approved a privacy fence at 26 South Lakeshore Drive. That was, and they installed the silt fence today, which I inspected, and it's done properly. And then 2A Cross Road, I approved an in-ground pool, but the pool was not in any part of the wetlands, of course, because I can't approve those things anyway, but the portion of the pool that was in the wetlands was, literally just the patio part of the deck surrounding the pool. So, those were the 3 agent approvals that I made during the month of September.
Yeah, maybe, I say help me, maybe Christine can maybe just add a little bullet here, maybe just redo A, and maybe we'll have you first, because you're right, the whole thing is called enforcement of wetlands and officers report, but then it
Yeah.
goes right to A and B.
Right.
So I was actually, I was kind of looking for a seed, but maybe she could just reorder to help me give you a chance.
All right, so would
So
you
we
like
don't
the
forget.
wetlands report first?
Whatever is best for her.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever's best for her. You know, looks like we need, you know, because we're always gonna have active sites, there's probably always gonna be enforcement actions, and maybe there's you know,
Okay.
your report
Okay.
du jour.
Mhm.
All right, well, that was good conversation. Anything else? Okey dokey. So let's go on to old business. We've got W-22-27, 500A, 518 Federal Road. So again, we'll get names and addresses for Rochelle, please.
Good evening. For the record, Steve Sullivan from CCA Engineers.
Jim McManus, JMM Wetland Consulting Services.
Okay, so we've got the,
We met a week ago and had a nice discussion about some changes and
Yep.
additions to the plans, which I can go over.
yeah, I've got things, we can go kind of in your, whatever order is best for you.
Yeah, I have a list here that
Yeah,
that's okay.
okay.
Is this one and the same?
It should be, it should be. The 1020, I see,
Yeah.
there's a couple sheets further on that are updated.
Which page?
I don't know.
Yeah, let me get the big one, this is,
Yeah, the problem is the dates are almost impossible to read on this copy. 1020, so this is,
Yeah, it's last revision date was 10/20/2022.
Yeah,
That was just
so it's this,
last week. Yep. This is the result
this
of
one's
the
got
meeting.
my notes on it.
they all start, so that even this first page.
So as you're getting organized there to the sheet you want, I want to make note that we did get an update. Where did it go? From Tom Nelson, dated October 24th, and I put that in a very good spot, and now I can't lay my hands on it.
Did we get
Would
that
you
with
like
our
to see a
package?
copy of mine?
Yeah, can I just borrow yours?
Why not?
Yeah, so we do, just for the record, we
here
did
it
get a note from Accord Engineering, it's October 24th. It's addressed to Ms. Hodza, again, the letter, took your letter, this is based on the
Yep.
conversations, you guys sound like you got it. Review the reference letter, they have no further comment, the majority of our comments have been addressed. Following items be considered, conditions of approval, final structural design of the wetlands, retaining wall should be reviewed with the commission if they increase the disturbance. That's, that's how that's gonna be. Final geotechnical design of the steep slope should be reviewed if there's increased disturbance within the regulated area, the deep permit, qualified site monitor. So I think we're gonna talk about all of that. Thank you, Dave. I'm gonna
My
find mine
pleasure.
when I leave.
So the first page is the wetland crossing page where we
Oh, here it is.
added several
It's on two sides.
items to the construction sequence.
What page are you on?
Sheet N8.
Yeah. So I'm looking for,
So-
yeah,
so we
monitoring,
put-
yeah.
Yep, so we put on, you asked for the footing excavation cubic yards, which is 31 cubic yards. That'll be used for backfill in the area of, behind the walls. We put on designated areas for temporary stockpile of those spoils from that excavation. Well, not the
Yeah.
sheet.
N8,
And
N is
Eight.
Nancy.
Oh, and eight.
There's N7.
All right, so we've got, excavate for the pudding, both sides of the water, excavator,
You can just read them first and then.
no, I think, cause it's, I mean, we're gonna probably put here, I think we're gonna probably add here, I mean, because part of it is, you know, the monitoring.
I have
And
that
then
in there.
also the call for inspection on the,
If you look at the, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, seventh bullet, all of the above construction items shall be monitored by the designated qualified erosion control monitor, which would be working for the town of Brookfield, paid for by the developer.
yeah, I think we're gonna add at the top here, we're gonna insert one, which is, you gotta call for an inspection for the soil and erosion control.
Oh, yeah, that's your
Yeah.
standard conditions, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna make a note on this one,
Okay.
right? Standard
Yep.
conditions for inspection of soil and erosion before, what are we calling this? It's a bridge, right?
Let's say wetland crossing, road
Yeah,
crossing,
before-
wetland road crossing.
Wetland crossing. For one, and then two, inspection, also, because I think it's gonna change a little bit, the soil and erosion, you might end up changing that, because you're gonna do the wetlands crossing, then you're gonna do this excavation, and some of the
Yeah.
soil and erosion are gonna probably change,
Um,
right?
No, I think this, you know, the silt fence we have here won't change during construction of the culvert crossing.
Yeah, well, whatever, I'm thinking
But
there's gonna be
they're gonna be
two inspections.
Oh, okay.
Whenever the wetlands crossing, soil
Yeah.
and erosion inspection,
Yep.
okay, then good to go.
Yep.
And then another one for the soil and erosion construction before this excavation starts, whichever
Okay.
happens first,
You
okay?
mean erosion and sedimentation, right?
What's that?
Erosion and sedimentation.
Yeah,
You were saying soil and sedimentation.
yeah.
Yes.
Before, what are we calling this? What are we calling this excavation again up in here?
You can call it,
This
footing
thing.
excavation,
Yeah, no,
This-
the,
wetland road crossing.
yeah, but this other excavation, the,
You mean the
no, the hill, when you start digging out the hill. what are we
Oh,
calling
over
that?
here, oh,
Yeah, what
yeah,
are we
that's
calling
just,
that?
the grading behind
Before,
I can give the unit numbers.
or grading, that lot is
59 and 60?
is
Oh, yeah.
500A, right? That lot, all
Yeah,
that's
that
on
is
500A.
Not for long. They have to be,
Well, we'll combine it.
combined.
Yeah. All apply, okay. So, that's just a note,
Yeah.
like I said, because I think that's gonna be important. So, there's a note, that's all I wrote, the standard conditions for inspection, sedimentation, and erosion control before wetland crossing, inspection of sedimentation, erosion control before, grading, we'll call grading. All apply.
Okay.
So, that's your, there, if you wouldn't mind.
Is this going to be called 518 Federal Road or 500A Federal Road at the end?
That's up to the postmaster, I'm not sure which the number they're gonna call. They'll probably have a private road name with unit numbers, I think the road medals pronounce it.
All right, so that's good. So I see the monitoring on this
Yep.
one. Yep.
Yep.
Remove the organic and got the, Yep. Okay, I think that's that for that one.
So sheet 6N, we put a permanent line of disturbance,
Yep.
6N.
What, 6?
6N, C6N, that's N6.
No.
N6,
John, it'll say wetland crossing.
N6?
No.
C6N.
Oh, C6.
Too many letters.
Too many letters and numbers
Right.
in the world. C, 2, C. C
Put this permanent line.
Six
of
N.
fence
Wait,
in.
where are we?
Yeah.
Which page?
C6N.
And what's the title of the page?
That's landscape plan north.
Mm.
And we put a note about, that's gonna be in the condominium
Okay,
regulations.
yep.
Um,
Yep, thank you for that.
And we also showed the swale grading down towards the road.
Yep.
Away from that, this opening.
Away from this opening, right?
Landscape plan
And
Sorry,
north.
And also this, yeah, what
There's the
trees, what
yeah,
trees coming out? Is
that's
that,
coming next.
yeah,
We located the trees in this area.
yeah,
And we put it on. So these are the trees that we located. So you have some birches, maple, birch, oak, birch.
okay.
So those are the, and so we proposed some different trees back on that C6N.
Yeah, the birds that have the oak now, I want them to have the
So
oak
we had
later.
oak,
Yep,
that's a maple, that was always proposed as a maple.
yep,
But these two are, BN and what was that?
is that Corbus?
Yeah,
It's
that's-
Corbus,
that's
right?
the oak.
That's the oak,
That's the
right?
Is that a birch?
Yeah, I think it was gonna be a
The
crab
end.
apple, but now it's gonna be an
River
oak.
birch.
River birch.
And now it's a white oak, right?
River birch, the BN,
All right.
and then the other one's the,
The oak.
yeah,
Swamp
Swamp
oak,
oak.
swamp oak, yeah.
swamp,
That's this guy.
correct.
And this guy's,
That's the river birch,
that's the little birch, okay.
and those are the
So
shrubs.
we're taking
They were
out two
always
oaks
there.
and we got one oak going back, all right.
Um,
Is there some reason you picked a river birch for some reason, or is there's no food in a river birch, is there?
It's attractive.
But there's no acorns or whatever.
There's no acorns, but, it's a.
Can I get, can you,
it's a-
can we just, let's just switch this one out and make it an oak,
Sure.
okay? So let's go over here. We're going to quantity,
I think we put the river birch in there because there's already birches there.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's why
I'm
we
just saying,
did.
we're taking out that, I was more
That's-
interested in.
It's a wet tree too, river birch.
Is that wetland soils here?
No,
Ken?
you're just on the.
No,
fringe
but
now.
they'll grow, it's just, it's.
You think that's not appropriate for the oak?
Swamp white,
That's
where on
more
the slope is the swamp white
You're
going
up.
now?
That's
We
the
have
wetland
this
line.
one,
That's
right?
the
Where's the
Here,
wetland line?
Down there.
Down here.
Mm.
Those feet are not really wet.
No, it'll be all right.
Okay, so we're gonna have two there, and then, so,
Just lose the river birch?
yeah. QB, so there'll be one of these and one of those.
Right.
Okay. I don't know what this 4 to 5 contract.
Those are,
that's
that's just how big they are.
Okay,
Oh, yeah, that's.
You can get
that's
rid of
the-
that.
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so just make a note here.
So that's gonna be, that's the
This
river
is-
birch?
yeah.
So that's
That
gonna
was-
be,
yeah.
This is
that's
gonna
gonna
be
be.
QB.
QB.
QB. Okay. All right,
So,
yep, this is that, and we did the sheet flow, so nothing,
that's all going towards the road.
all goes into
To
the
the
road.
road.
Okey dokey, thank you for that, that's this.
And that's
If
done
we-
by
Not this
the way it's graded.
Correct,
Okay.
yes. Then we have, if we switch to sheet C3S.
C3S.
What's the title of the page?
This is grading plan south. We added a note about, the reports for the
Yeah.
grading behind here. Can you
Yeah.
take a look at that?
Okey doke, thank you for that.
Also, we'll just flip the page here. We'll put the retaining wall. So,
Coming all
the
around
drains
here.
behind the retaining wall
Yeah.
are going this way,
Okay.
tying into the street drainage.
Great, great, great.
And tying into the street drainage.
Great,
This
great,
is
great,
all
great,
sloping
great.
this way.
Yep,
We actually have a no-mow area up above here, that's a meadow mix,
okay,
and you got the woods.
yep.
Um, Place this wall too, we had it drain right into this catch basin, so
Yep.
it's not going out that way.
Yep.
And we just did some more call-outs, just the heights of the wall.
Oh, good,
So
good,
we
good,
got
good, good.
half a foot, then it goes to 6,
Yep.
7, 11, and then
All right.
down there to 8.
Okay, well, that's great. I appreciate understanding where that water goes.
Yep.
Yep.
Jim actually, he submitted, I don't know if you saw this picture, this was a picture of upstream and
Yeah,
Upstream and
crossing, yeah.
downstream,
So this is the crossing, Jim?
that's
This-
exactly where the crossing's
Okay.
going.
That's a pretty stream.
Yeah, it really is.
Glad we're spending time protecting it.
Yeah, well,
Photos
it
don't
is.
tell you
Yeah.
Yeah,
the full picture. That's fine.
yeah.
It was flowing.
Yeah, I see that, yeah. I assume that's water.
Yep.
And
It rained,
then-
so it was moving.
May I
Let me see.
take a look and I'll show John?
Mr. Manager, when were those photos taken, please?
Can I see that for one quick second?
Yes.
Those photos were taken October 19th, 2022.
Thank you. Hey, John, can you just hand me the accept stamp, not the approval stamp, the other one here? We're gonna put that into the file here. When you're done with it?
Oh, John,
Yeah.
that's where the stream is,
All right.
right over there.
That's uploaded on the website.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna stick it in the file. Once we get
It's
one.
also,
Let me see that for.
my
Should have
response
floated
letter,
by.
it's also attached to this here.
Yeah, okay.
And
Thank you
the
for
bridge
that.
is gonna go.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And the only other thing is we added some additional silt fence by unit 58. And it's just a double fence around.
Oh, that's on
That's
the,
a different method. I think it's-
yeah, on the north, that's on the north.
C5S.
C5N.
Yes. Yeah,
Just back to the other one again.
we got the double there. And
Yep.
then, actually tripled it up here.
And where,
Oh, no, that's got that construction fence, the
And
large
where-
fence that the peer review asked for. And that's what the CF stands for. That's what Tom Nelson asked for, so we can put that in there. And, I think that covers,
I think that's all I can remember.
covers my list here.
I was going through my old notes back from June. Jim, refresh my memory. I have some notes here about, the natural diversity database, is that applicable here? I just have a note here. I don't
We had
remember.
turtles.
There's turtles.
There's a
So we,
turtle,
yeah,
but,
so we put the turtle notes
yeah.
on
Yeah,
the sweeps.
there- that's was the second thing. I have the
Turtle.
deep and the turtles.
Yeah, the turtle was, down by the still river. That's where they're hanging, but the blob is bigger.
Yeah, it covers up the whole.
Covers up everything.
All right, so two things. We have the turtles, so we gotta think about how we're gonna manage that situation. And then again, the
Well, there's a
natural.
protocol for that.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna talk about. So we can do turtles, and then we'll go back, just refresh my memory on we'll go back to the other one. Okay, so turtle protection during their inactive period. What about their active period? Here we go.
So those are the notes we took right from, those are deep recommendations.
Yes.
Okay.
For these kinds of situations.
And wasn't it noted earlier this meeting, the turtle activity ends on
October
fig-
31st.
October 31st?
Typically, that's when they hibernate.
Jim's gonna call them, let them know they gotta calm down.
They plow into the
Gotta go
mud.
get 'em on
See you in the
Get them on
spring.
their
Yeah.
TikTok.
They go on strike.
All those types, the frogs are gonna start disappearing. They can't regulate.
And then when do they come back?
When the temperature comes up, usually at 8.
Okay, so we got a
They come out of
qualified
hibernation.
herpetologist.
Depends on the weather. They don't look at the calendar, they just say it's warm out, let's go.
So, I think So this goes to the contractor, right?
Well, yeah, they get all these.
They get
obviously,
all
That would be
these.
part of the deep permit too,
Yes.
because that's where it falls under.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they're gonna
This is
have to,
general permit for construction.
that's right,
activity
they're gonna have to,
That we get, that we get, actually.
yeah, you get,
We get.
and then they'll have to abide by all those deep regulations.
Do they send reports to Deep
No.
about?
Not anymore. Wetlands Division has one person.
I'm wondering if we should get, I'm wondering if we should get some kind of report on what the herpetologist, what their,
I would,
that's what I'm thinking.
I would like to see that.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how can we do that over this is a year and a half
Yeah.
project, right?
Now,
Right.
we're going to have,
Well,
Can
during the
expect-
active period you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
inactive period,
So
we
that's
don't have
not
to do
the whole-
anything.
well,
It's not the
Yeah.
whole season.
Well, I was
Is
thinking
there-
a year and a half construction, I don't know
Yeah.
what the exact,
Yeah,
is
whatever.
there, you say that you have to start looking for turtles again in April. Is that a
Well, I
hard
forget, I
date
think
or
it's,
is it
I
by?
don't remember the exact,
temperature?
I think it's April first, is
Yeah,
April
that's
first to October 31st.
September 30th is the active.
Okay, September
Okay.
30th, so it's October 1st,
And-
actually, you're out of it now.
And I'm just going to pass on what I always do when we talk about climate, is that things are changing, and I have a feeling that the correct dates, even though the state probably hasn't changed them yet, the correct dates are gonna be different. That there's
That's
gonna be
fine,
a
but right
longer
now,
warm period.
Right now, that's what Deep tells us to do.
I understand, but I need to get my 2 cents in and
That's
the
right.
subject every time.
But we are subject to a regulation, and that's it at this point.
Well, we can certainly do more than the regulation to protect.
Okay, so notify appropriate authorities, who's that? Is that Deep or us?
No, that would be Deep.
Okay.
If there's a finding or if there's a taking, that's really what it is.
Okay, what is it taking? Is that a
Kill.
crushed?
Kill,
Can we get a copy of that?
no.
Why can't we?
You can, but you usually don't.
Well, I'd like to, yeah, I'd
I
like
don't
to.
make those.
Do you want to write in deep on that
Yeah.
map?
So we're gonna do A, and it's going to be A, appropriate authority is Deep, and, I wanna know, and the
Brookfield, Wetlands.
Brookfield
Inland.
IWC, okay?
Usually if something happens, everybody knows.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
just this nature of the beast.
Yeah, well,
Most of my involvement with this kind of stuff is on overhead power lines and pipelines,
yeah,
where there's a constant movement, and we're out there we have to screen every morning. Well, technically, yes, you do screen every morning.
Mhm.
They've changed who does it. Usually now it's the contractor, with the guy, somebody like myself or a herpetologist will come out once a week to check on things.
Yeah, they just notified the neighbors of that. I got a letter
so this,
from Eversource on that subject and exactly what you said.
so this herpetologist is not gonna be there every day, right, from April to?
No, they'll probably train this work staff how to do
Okay.
it, which includes looking under equipment in the work zone. And sometimes silk fences, well, and
Exclusionary fences.
exclusionary fences, it's actually act at so the turtle bumps up and just keeps on his way.
Yeah,
Can't get
Stays out
into the
of
work zone.
Right, that's what the exclusionary.
And then
fences
the.
What if they're trapped in the work zone?
Then the
They're trained.
the designated monitor will remove him. And they're taught how to pick him up and move him to the safe location.
okay, so what's your thinking? So the qualified herpetologist is gonna swing by there once a week?
I don't know what Deep is gonna recommend or
Okay.
Yeah.
determine with this, because the turtle itself is not known to inhabit this location. They're down by the Still River.
Right.
So he's not gonna wanna come up to the site. But we still need to do it. So I don't know, I'm not sure how Deep is gonna wanna put that together.
Yeah.
Okay, well then that may
They
be.
will tell us, for sure.
Okay, well then that may be how long will they normally take to tell you that? Like, I mean, you guys asking them now and gonna
Well,
get an
we have to-
answer, or?
Well, you gotta
we
put in a
got-
permit.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you don't have to
Paperwork.
put a permit until like 90 days prior to construction.
Okay,
So I'm not exactly sure when that's gonna be, but they,
Yeah.
you know, they would get back, they would issue a permit probably like
Which-
30 days after you submit something.
with
Do
their
you want to
recommendations.
put in per deep regulations?
that's what I'm think something along the lines of. let
Okay,
it
if that'll
be a-
make you
know,
happy, that'll
if-
make me
Yeah,
happy.
if we can get, when you get that back
Yeah.
from Deep,
Yeah.
give us a copy.
Yeah.
Okay? Give us a copy, and
Sure.
then we'll know, whenever that is.
Yeah.
Okay? So there's really one more thing. Provide.
You folks are okay with my suggestion, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, wonderful.
Well, I remembered something tonight, that they're actually in hibernation zone now. Technically, we don't have, it ends October 1st. So it goes
Right.
from April, I think it's April 1st to September
September
30th
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
is the active zone, or active time. And then after that, technically, they're hybrid.
6 months
This weekend.
active,
I haven't-
so it's
I haven't
6
seen the
months
turtle all
active
month,
and
so you're right.
6 months active, 6 months
Like I said,
inactive
provide
then.
Brookfield IWC with
Sensible.
deep approval before construction
Sure.
begins, okay. All right. Cause they'll talk about schedules and, right, I mean, once a week, or twice a week, or once a month, or
Yeah.
something like that, Jim, they would
Yeah,
commonly do
yeah,
that?
they should. Since
Okay.
we do have a hit here, they're gonna have to make a comment.
Yeah, okay, all
You
right,
know,
so
the-
now we'll
the-
know their
The
schedule.
diversity database group is gonna have to weigh in.
Okay. Well, that's my other question, where did we end up on the natural diversity database? Do we have that?
We had the hit with the turtle.
That's it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all right, that's all we have, all right, good, all right. All right, those were all my notes.
Yeah, and I think you covered it by saying deep regulations, for deep regulations.
Yeah, I think so, I hope so, for the turtle's sake.
We had 3 different turtles in there, so.
They want it,
3.
Not here.
Not here, no, this site I was just talking.
All right.
They take it seriously.
Okay, I think that's it. And John, Dave? Good?
I'm comfortable.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll make a motion, how's that?
All right.
Everybody all right with that?
Yeah,
That's your
absolutely.
copy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, yeah,
Madam
yeah.
Chair, do you have
Yes.
an idea how long you would like this permit to be valid for?
what do you mean?
Well, how long is the permit going to be valid for?
By state statute,
Isn't the
they're
state
years?
5
statute?
years, and then 10 years
Five
after,
and
and
then
then
10?
5 years.
14 years now,
14.
another 5 is 19.
Oh, really?
So,
What did they
Yeah,
change?
that's what
When
I
they
thought
change
it
it back
would
to
be, so.
14.
They changed it to 14, this year, or the end of last year, for public act, something like that. 14 years now, with an additional
That's probably how much
extension.
time you're gonna need before WPC gets you.
Yeah, I think that's when they're not gonna do this immediately. They just want to get the approval
But you just, you
for it.
gotta do it by state statute, that's,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but is it,
Is there-
but that's what I guess that's my question, is it, I don't, because I read the statute today, and it's still, I mean, online, it still says 5 years with it, yeah. It still says 5 years with the public access, I mean, I'll check with that. I'll check with that.
I'm rusty on because they change it every so often.
Yeah, they changed it since.
Yeah, they changed it several times, so I just admit, I'm out of date as to what the current state
State
statute
Well,
is.
we'll just make it valid for the statutory side.
Right, because you gotta put that in the motion, and when
Yeah.
you have to put that in the
Yes.
motion, we commonly don't, so.
All right,
All right, Rochelle, anything from you, we've been talking, we haven't given you a chance on this, anything about the process or the,
no, I'm comfortable, with the plan, and, the zoning commission is, this is also before zoning, and they will be getting a copy of Mr. McCord, of Mr. Nelson's, report there too, so,
okay,
second layer of protection on erosion and sedimentation.
right. Right, yeah, which is, I think everybody's kind of worried about that. We went through, I said, with Steve's help, we were looking at that whole big excavation, and it looks like the current topos take Some could, right, and could take some of that towards the stream, but just from a square footage,
Mhm.
most of it doesn't go streamways, it just goes down the hill, which is a concern in itself, but it's not as much a wetlands concern, so. Anything else, you guys?
Did,
Yes.
is there, was it in the plan, I think it was, that there would be not just for the turtles, but an inspector? I think I saw it here, that there would be an inspector
Yeah.
hired by them.
Yeah,
and
two of them.
report to us.
Yeah, two of them. One
Okay.
for the wetlands crossing, during
Right.
that construction,
Mhm.
you know, till they get the, what'd you call them,
Culvert.
concrete
Yep,
over top.
And that's in the
Yeah,
plans?
right.
Okay, you saw it.
Yeah, I saw
thought I
that,
did, but I
and
wanted
we
to, if that
actually,
was
yes,
important.
yes, we have that in there, so. All right, and I'm actually gonna call that out in the motion.
Okay.
So, all right, so here we go. So make a motion, so in the matter of, the wetlands application, W-22-27, 500A, 518, I say that right? Federal Road. I make a motion to approve the application, as defined on a set of plans with an original date of June 8th, 2022, with a number of sheets with the last revision date of 10/20/22. I said with the following considerations and stipulations. I said the first consideration for the commission was, in order to get access to both lots, a wetlands crossing was required, and the original application was amended to provide an open box culvert for that wetlands crossing. Second, the plans note that none of the sheet flow from, the site will be graded such that none of the sheet flow will flow towards that stream. So those are two big considerations in the changes. So the stipulations are, all of the standard stipulations will apply. And I make note that on the set of plans, there are some handwritten notes on a number of sheets about the monitoring for the wetlands crossing construction.
And the
for
turtles.
monitoring for the excavation in the upland review area, paid for by the applicant. And that also there is a set of DEEP monitoring plans that will be finalized, and a copy will be provided to the Inland Wetlands Commission. I think that's it. And will be effective the day after publication.
I will second that.
Did I get everything?
I think you did.
Because I
Was
think
there-
everything else
there
is
were two-
handwritten notes, right?
Two notes.
I made note of the
But it's-
handwritten notes.
It might have been
All right,
yeah.
N8, page N8,
Yeah, well, I think they're,
wetland
I
crossing.
I
think
don't
they're
think you need to mention
here.
them
Yeah,
because they're on the sheet.
I think they're on the sheet. I just called them out that they're on the sheet so
Yeah.
that
Okay.
whenever
I'm-
this happens,
Yep,
an
we'll
X
get
number
that,
of
yeah.
years, it's not forgotten.
Right.
Okay. All right, so that's my motion. Do I have a second?
I will second.
All right, any discussion on the motion?
Sir, was that Mr. Newsted, who's second?
I
Mr.
said-
Newsted?
Yeah. Okay, any discussion on the motion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any
Thank you.
opposed? The motion carries unanimous. All
Good
right, you
night.
guys.
Thank you for your hard work
All right.
on
Good
this.
luck.
Michael, why don't you take the next one, and I'll deal with this, okay?
I'm sorry?
Wait, can you just take the next
Oh,
one, and
sure.
I'll deal with this?
Where are we? Get to my,
Yeah, we are on page 2.
all
It's
right.
gonna be Silvermine, I think.
113 Silver Mine Road, do we have anyone here for? Yes, we do. W22-40, 113 Silver Mine Road. We discussed this last week, and were there any changes to
Nope,
what?
we presented the development to you,
Mhm.
actually it was the last meeting in September. And here we are.
Okay. Sharon, I will ask you if you had a chance to review.
Yes, yeah,
Because we did, and
yep,
found, it was pretty straightforward.
yep, I did.
And you're comfortable with that
Yep,
as
yep,
well?
yep.
Okay, I think, if there's been no changes from what was presented at the last meeting, and were there any other questions? For Rochelle?
No.
Okay, then I would like to make a motion to approve item number W-22-40 for 113 Silver Mine Road, based on a drawing, where is the drawing? By CCA, dated September 12th, 2022. Is that the latest revision as well?
Yep.
Okay. Dated, to include all the usual stipulations to be effective the day after publication.
I'll second that.
Did you get that, Rochelle?
I do.
Okay. Any comments? Then I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, thank you.
That
You're
was
2 for 2.
easy. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm almost done.
Thank you.
Keep going. I'm almost
All
there.
right, the next item, C, W-22-42 for 38 Knoll Crest Drive. Would you be able to come up and join us a little
No,
closer?
okay.
Sorry you've had to wait so long.
No worries.
All
We
right,
entertained you. Good.
let's see, what do we have? That was a shed and it was just a shed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, where are we? This is you.
Yeah.
This is your driveway, your
Yes.
current house. These are
No.
two other existing sheds?
It was, I'm not sure what the previous owner had there. Whatever was there was moved by the time I got there.
So these are not here?
Nothing's there right now.
Okay.
It's just gravel
So,
right now.
you're not asking for this or approving. So what I'm going to do is cross them out.
Okay.
Here, Michael, I've got the official version here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I got the town's version when you say
Okay.
that. Here we go.
What we've gotten to is
Yep.
that these do not exist and he's not asking for permission.
Okay, so
Those
these are,
two.
these are, what are these?
They
This-
were, he,
Oh.
they
We're
were
going.
the
I'm
previous
not sure what
owners.
the owner had over there.
Oh, okay,
Something.
this is the new shed.
No, I don't believe so.
Oh,
Thi-
that's the new shed.
Is this exist?
It's gonna be a canopy. If they had a canopy there, the one that they took it down, we were gonna put that one
I'm sorry,
back
could
on.
we get names and
Oh, I'm
address?
sorry, Michael Robinson.
Here, Mr. Robinson, okay, and your name, please?
Catherine Crescent.
So these come out,
Yeah,
right?
those don't,
I'm
I was
not
just
on
going
the
at
house.
one at a time.
But I just
Yeah.
wanted to spell your name.
That comes out.
Those don't exist.
Sorry, you're gonna be speaking
Okay.
now.
And are not
Just
being
to-
approved.
Yeah, they took it down, when they, whatever was there.
Okay, so the next question, and then I'll,
Not in the application,
Great, thank you.
so therefore not.
approved, correct.
Okay, all right.
Okay, now, the next, there's two things here. Is this exist?
It's gravel now, whatever, they had a unit there. They
Okay.
took it down.
Well, what is it?
It was a like a carport, I guess.
Okay.
Oh, like one of those plastic
And
things
you've-
or something?
They had, it was, I mean, it was, I don't know how to describe it, I never had one, so.
It was like a tent.
Yeah, it was like a tent, but it was like
Tent,
the,
yeah.
the poles in them were
Ah,
very
Yes,
thick.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know what.
Like a canvas top. and
Yeah,
everything.
something,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, I know
Okay.
exactly. what it
And
is.
you've highlighted an area here?
Yeah.
So what you want to build is in this area?
Yeah,
Yellow.
it's gonna, yeah, right. That's
Just
what
the
it is.
yellow area?
Yeah,
Uh,
Not this?
right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this is also non-existent and not approved?
Right,
Well,
I-
you're
I-
not
I-
asking for it,
Yeah,
or
I
do
mean,
you want it?
I'd have to, I mean, I guess I'd have to put in to request for that. I guess,
Well,
right?
I mean, you can ask for it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just,
you
okay.
wanna ask for it now?
Yeah, oh, sure.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
gonna ask,
What we-
can we
Yeah.
add that in there, that we're
Yeah.
gonna put a carport there?
Yeah, so this
And it would be the
is,
same type of structure, it's
yeah,
like,
I mean,
when this
anything.
With a canvas top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's just easier, anything you might want to do, let us know
Right.
now. You don't have to,
Right.
but that will get you the permission to do it.
I'd like to add a shed, you'd like to add a shed and a carport.
And the carport, yeah.
I would like to add a shed.
I
and
thought
a
it was,
carport.
because it was already approved, that we wouldn't have to re-request it, I didn't realize.
Okay, I would like to add a shed and a carport.
So sorry about that.
That's
Yeah.
okay, no, don't
Do we
apologize.
want to define what a carport is?
Something you
Good
park a car
point.
under.
No, I know, but
I
is it
agree.
gonna be a tent? Could it be a permanent building? You know, I wanna give
I
you
don't-
options
Yeah,
on
no, we
this.
weren't gonna put anything permanent, it's gonna be that high.
Yeah,
Don't know what those 10 things are for. I mean, I just saw a line called a carport, that would,
Yeah, I had a neighbor
Yeah.
next door that had one for years and years, and then eventually they built a garage
oh, okay.
where it was. That's why I'm saying maybe you should think about, you know, a tent, and then maybe someday you might wanna,
Well, if we'd have to get a
Yeah.
permit to build,
we
a
need
construct a
building
CO
permit
for
for
that,
that,
right?
Mhm.
don't we?
Because of the size.
Probably.
Yeah.
We're more interested in the
Yeah,
footprints.
yeah.
as
Oh.
opposed to
yeah,
the
yeah,
size.
but
What
it-
it is, I don't.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they-
why with the footprints, we
Oh.
should make it more permanent, I think.
And they would wanna see our approval because you're so close to the wetlands.
Gotcha.
Sir,
Sure.
I just added, this is your application, might look familiar, I just added "and a carport." Okay, so just do me a favor and just initial that,
Sure.
so we know that I'm not doing stuff without you knowing about it. Alrighty? Okay. So back to the official, so this is the carport,
Mm-hmm,
right?
yes.
And this is the shed,
Yes.
okay? And the carport, you got it, the shed is on the driveway?
Yeah, so the driveway kinda ends like right here, essentially, and then there's like gravel pads right here for both of them.
Okay, so
Yeah, so it's paved up until here,
And
and
then
then this
there's
is
both
like
the
really,
both of
really
them have
thick
gravel pads,
gravel
okay.
that's been,
He had something
Stamped
there,
out.
I don't know if
Yeah.
it was supposed to be there.
yeah.
There was something there, but when we called, found out we had to get a permit
yeah,
before we did anything.
yeah.
And, I think his name was Fran, I apologize
Yeah,
for his name.
that's
Yeah.
Fran Lally.
Fran
He sent me
Lally,
the
yeah.
map, and he goes, that's how, when we realized, well, where do you want it? And for me to highlight it, to show where I was looking at.
Yeah, the house is there, yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
that's correct.
obviously, okay.
This typically, you may have heard the earlier conversation, these GIS maps are pretty accurate, but they're not accurate 100% to the inch, to the foot, sometimes they're whatever. There's usually, this little line here means there's a tree line
Yeah.
here. Is that
That's pretty accurate.
sound familiar?
Yeah, there's definitely trees right below, like,
Yeah.
right after you can see the tree line right, pretty much, as it's shown right
Yeah.
there.
Okay,
It's
so
pretty accurate.
what's in here, grass?
Grass right now,
And there's
right,
like bushes,
Yeah.
like bushy stuff.
Okay. What's your guess on the distance between I don't know, the tree, between here and here? What's your guess on what this distance is?
between there and where the trees are and stuff?
Yeah,
say?
you see, what's your guess?
Maybe 7 to 10 feet.
6,
something
7,
like that.
yeah,
6 or 7
yeah,
feet.
at
maybe,
least, at least 6, if not more. Going from here to here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like the closest.
yeah.
That's where I would say where you would say wetlands is. As far as the first trees, it's supposed to be a little, but there is one like there's one like right here, right there is a tree.
Okay. So this is, we're gonna go with the lower figure.
Sure.
You say 6 to 7 to 10-ish? Is that what you're saying?
No,
I'd say at
6.
least
Yeah.
a minimum of 6.
Yeah.
I think it's quite a bit further, but,
I just don't know, but I
are we,
think
are we
that's-
going by like the
Yeah.
tree tops?
I don't
Or
really
the
know, cause I don't have a
base
picture.
of
No, we're
so
going to
it's just
where
in-
the corner of the
what I'm after is actually
shed
the
to
wetlands.
where the wetlands are.
Yeah, that's what I'm actually, but you can't tell that, so
Oh,
I'm
by
just
the
thinking.
tree, oh.
Like where the
the
grass
wetlands,
ends,
the
like where the
wetlands.
grass ends. Where the grass ends, what's your
That's
guess?
at least 10 feet,
10 feet,
yeah,
alright.
yeah. I thought you were going by like how far the trees come out.
Oh, no,
No.
no, no, no.
No,
Oh,
The base.
okay.
So I'm gonna put 10 feet here, okay? 10 feet for the shed. 10 feet from the wetlands.
What we're kind of saying here is that when you go back there and measure it, just make sure the back of your shed is at least 10 feet from.
Oh, definitely,
wetlands.
yeah.
I mean, if
Well,
you have to
it's
move it-
actually not gonna go,
It's not gonna,
fit the whole thing.
Yeah.
yeah, I was just gonna say
It's
that. The
this-
shed is smaller than this spot
Okay.
here.
That spot
So
there is
it'll-
about 25 feet
Yeah, so if
long,
you have to move it a few inches,
and the shed
oh,
is,
it's not a problem. Okay,
the shed's
thank
probably
you.
18.
So now we got the same, can you give us 10 feet between this, and there's a little wetland in here, can you give us 10 feet here too?
I mean, we can move it back.
Go this way a little bit,
Yeah.
slide it that way,
We can towards the driveway.
that way they're gonna be even.
We can't
We'll
anchor
have
it
to,
up
we
here.
have to,
We can't anchor it up here.
no, I know we can't anchor, but we have to measure, we maybe get a smaller one, that's all.
Yeah,
instead of
if we
getting-
get the smaller one, we could.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying, can you give me 10 feet?
Yeah.
To the edge of the grass?
Mhm.
Okay.
Cause it comes up closer on that side.
Well,
If
so-
it, if we're having some problems, come back,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah. Cause we haven't done that carport portion yet, we're
Okay.
really looking heavy into it.
Yeah, I have
So
to
we
look.
just started looking into that just now.
Okay.
Yeah,
The shed was, we got the size down to that. We knew it was gonna be smaller than that.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
said, I didn't know that we had to re-request for this, so I thought we could just use that same spot that they have.
Yeah, I don't know what you heard, like I said,
Yeah.
there's something called an upland review area, and it's for a common wetland, it's 75 feet,
Right.
is that sort of,
Right,
some people
right.
call it a buffer
Yeah.
all the way around, so, anything, here's like 50 feet, so here's 75, so, anything in that
Mhm.
backyard, like
Right.
a pool,
Yeah.
swing
Yeah.
sets, cutting down trees,
Yeah,
requires
Yep.
a permit, it looks like. It looks like some of it may catch the back of your deck
mhm.
on this side, something like that. And I think we can accommodate, I think I can accommodate, I can't speak for my colleagues, accommodate something like that, because it's just sort of like, it's already there, you're not taking down any trees.
But,
To
no,
do
yeah, we
this,
wouldn't be
right?
touching any trees.
We're not
no.
digging up any.
No, for either of these, there's no trees that would not be,
Yeah, the guy recommended do a gravel pad, for the.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna lay it on a gravel pad.
Mhm.
Seems like minimal disturbance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
like I
he's
said, they're
just
not
gonna
cutting
level out
down
the path.
trees, they're
No,
not
no,
changing too
no.
much, so I think
No,
we
no.
can, at least I
yeah, cause
can.
there's nothing there, there's not even grass here, it's all gravel, it's really thick gravel,
Is it?
yeah.
Well, anything you, again,
Yeah.
I think you're gonna get this, I think. I think you're gonna get this, but anything you can do to push it away
Okay.
from the wetlands,
Sure.
anything you can do, again, I don't know the slope of your property,
Yeah.
but anything that you can do to prevent, things like lawn fertilizers
Mhm.
from
Right,
Right,
into the wetlands
Right.
will be your contribution to
Yeah.
cleaner water,
right,
okay?
right.
It's pretty straightforward, actually.
Yeah, I think it,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
once
it's
we get it on the
straightforward.
map, yeah.
Do we think we need a silt?
Are you doing any excavation here, or is this just gonna bang
No.
down?
They're
No,
just
they're
gonna-
just
Yeah.
they're actually
So you're not
gonna-
gonna dig?
I don't
No,
think so.
No,
he
no.
actually just told me he's
I
just
don't
gonna put a
think
gravel
so.
pad on top of that
Mhm.
spot.
Yeah,
Mm.
just leveling
And
this out
he's
to be
gonna
more
drop it
level,
on,
cause
it's already, it's gonna be a
slowed
pre-made
down.
structure, just
Okay.
dropped on top.
Yeah,
So it's not, there's no real fat, there's gonna be some wood base under it,
No
so,
excavations?
no.
How do you prevent the wind from blowing it away or something?
I hope him to wait, I don't know.
Okay, I'm just curious.
I don't
No,
know.
no footing or anything?
I really don't know.
You get a
Hold
strong
on.
wind,
You know,
that guy's gone.
I'm assuming
Well,
it's,
that's a
I don't know how that works,
Okay.
but I'm hoping that
Maybe
it
we
settles
should
in.
call and ask.
I will have to ask him.
All right, so
Yeah, that's a
'cause this
question
is-
to ask him, right?
Yeah,
This map, sir, is going to be that's gonna be a part of the property, this is gonna be a part of the application. This is exactly what we're going to approve, right, so this becomes a part of this application, and then when you're all done with your, whatever it is, whenever it is, right, you're gonna call the land use office and
Yeah.
say, done, they're gonna come out with a tape measure.
Yeah,
They're gonna say
okay,
10
sure.
feet, 10 feet, right, they're gonna say no excavations,
Mhm.
right, so just do me a favor, drop your initials in there. So I'm not doing things without even knowing about it.
Nope.
I'm good.
You ready?
Yeah.
Bob, you wanna take care of this then?
No, you go ahead.
All right, I'll make a motion then in the matter of the application for W-22-42, it's for 38 Knoll Crest Drive for the, installation? Yeah, the installation.
Installation of a
Yeah,
shed
of
and
a shed and a
carport.
carport
Mhm.
as noted on a Town of Brookfield
wait 2
GIS
weeks.
map
Aren't they supposed to have 2 weeks? I was supposed to wait 2 weeks before we can.
Oh, no, this is,
for the
This
current
is not new.
receive date of
This
October
was- this
24,
came to us last.
2022,
Oh,
with
okay.
all the normal stipulations, again, making note that the map had two sheds which are not included in the application. The sheds will be placed at least 10 feet from the wetlands, and there is no excavations planned for the installations of these sheds to be effective the first day after publication.
I'll second that.
Okay, Bob seconds that. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous.
You're all set.
All right, you're all set.
Good luck.
Okay, you'll get a letter in the mail
Okay.
with all of what I just said, and it will also include all the things like the usual stipulations, which for you are mostly, call when it's done.
Okay.
You don't have to put a silt fence in, so. All right.
Thank you so much.
Yep. you're
Thank you.
welcome.
Good luck.
Good luck. All right, now, we've got 7 Shirley Court.
We do?
I think
Missed
so.
something?
I don't know,
Yes.
what's this?
Um,
Am I
oh, it is, no, you're,
Yeah,
I missed
Shirley
it.
Court is
That's next, 7 Shirley Court.
All right, sorry,
Sorry.
come down, we'll get, Rochelle's gonna need your name and address, and I'll get the file, Michael, if you
Okay.
wanna start this one.
Yep.
All right.
Michael Philo, 7 Shirley Court.
Did you get that, Rochelle?
Sorry you had to wait so long.
That's all right. Last time you guys let me jump ahead, so.
Oh, that's right, you
Oh,
were,
yeah, child.
Yeah,
Here
It
with
had to
baby.
do with the child.
you should have learned your lesson, brought
Santa
the.
should have brought him, I guess.
Thank you.
Okay. And so this is, what am I doing here? This is a pool? A garage and a shed.
Yeah.
And a
Yeah,
shed.
And grading.
if I remember our okay,
I have a
you've
new
got it.
map here.
Yeah,
The
so,
conversation, and you weren't here
No, I
when
was not.
you missed his ability to be taken number one. He brought his.
oh, you brought this little one?
He brought his little one.
Oh,
I have a new map.
okay, we'll use this one. If
This
you're,
one's different.
oh, we have a new one.
Yeah, so they asked for like a topography map, so I got a
Okay, let me
topography
make,
map.
that's Brandy new?
Yeah, I just picked it up today.
Ah. Okay.
Is
So
that
this
what
one-
we have right here?
So I don't
the
know,
same,
yes,
one and
that's
the
what we
same?
have there.
Well,
Okay.
let's just,
So last time they asked for topography to determine the amount of fill that was gonna be brought in.
revised.
Which,
Okay, so this one is, this map is superseded. And the map provided during, I wish you could write legibly fast.
kind of quality I have.
The one I fail at. Okay, so now we have a new map. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, we have a new map. Okay, so, what were the changes we asked for?
So the changes in this map was topography added,
Okay,
and then also it was discussed, I had questioned last time I was here about going with a bigger garage, and I was told to put the maximum footprint of the garage that I wanted, whether the town will approve me to do that or not. So it was increased by 10 feet length and 2 feet to the west.
With.
so that's
Yes.
a 32 by 40?
So they said nothing closer to the wetland, so I went, like I said, 10 feet back and then 2 feet to the west towards the gravel road. Again, I don't know if the town will approve me to build a garage that size because it is over the square footage of what's allowed for zoning. But I need a variance for pretty much anything I do anyway. Because that's,
Did you guys talk about what's here now? Is this grass or trees? And you guys talk about what is here now? What is?
Madam Chair,
yeah.
I visited the site,
Okay.
at the, request of the commission on,
Yep.
October
I mean, we could pull it up on
Mr. Phelan
our
out
phone.
there.
There were a lot of questions we had, this is why we asked him to come
Here's
back.
some photographs.
I also have photographs of the top area too.
So, I don't know how to orient these. Where is this from?
So what do
Can you
we
help
have
us?
here? So this is, where's the house? Right here.
Right here, yeah.
So this is the stone wall right here,
Okay.
going towards, looking.
Oh, okay, so this picture looks like it's here, cause you're
This is
seeing,
basically like this. So this is the stone wall here, so
Okay.
that's this, going this way into the front yard.
okay.
This,
Oh, there's a shed over here too. Is that up on the
that's
review area?
proposed.
Yeah, is that in the up on review area? I guess it is. We'll find out. We'll take a look
Yeah.
later.
This is basically the other side of that. So this would be
Do you see
oriented-
any, do you see, what's here? What's here?
That's,
What's here now?
right here, this
Yes.
is mainly, raspberry bushes. I do have a picture of that area.
Oh, could you
Next
pass that one
to-
down?
Is this it?
This is pretty much,
Does it look
this
like
is
it's home?
grass, like along this
Okay,
area
yep.
here.
Are they,
And then there's some raspberry bushes, towards the
Oh,
top
I
of
see,
the
and that's the
building.
fence
is it
right there,
grass
I
or are there
believe.
trees or?
No, this is hill, no trees.
For 556, it's only like the 10-foot drop, right?
Yeah. There's no trees in there. All the
Okay.
trees on my property
Yeah.
got knocked down.
So are these rocks here, is that the same as that right there?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So
It's
this,
kind of strange,
so this
you know.
picture is looking the opposite view of that.
Oh, I see. It
So
almost
this
isn't,
would actually be like that.
yeah, yeah. It almost doesn't look like anything.
So this is where they drove down over the rock wall I was telling you guys last time into the front yard. So I was looking to.
Oh, yes,
it's
yes,
subverted.
yep, I remember that.
If you want, I probably do have a picture of up here. If you look.
Well, I
Oh,
don't know,
I
well, I don't know
see
if I need a picture, I'd just be happy with an understanding about how many, if there are any standing trees in this
There is
area.
there is no standing trees in this. Tree is right here, which is probably closer to
This guy over
this
here?
rock wall,
Okay.
which is in this rock wall area, so it's about up here. So there is no trees in this area. There was some big trees that came down in the storm. They're uprooted. There's one right here and one right here, and it's just the tree stumps. Plus or minus 389 cubic yards. And then the other proposed area is about a 2-foot grade, 2-foot increase at maximum because this proposed grading is pretty much already level for the driveway. It just went with that whole area when we drew the map, which is about here, which is about 2 feet, 184 yards. So, like I said, the max you're gonna go between the two grading areas is, what did I say, 575
Is-
yards of fill.
Are these two separate properties? Or
No.
have they been combined?
They are combined. I have a
Okay.
letter from the town.
That's all right, just, if you do, you
That
do.
was a search on its own to try and find that. I
Okay.
have,
Do you have any idea when this home was built?
70,
So before wetlands.
70, oh, I have the deed.
I think it was 74.
74.
Yeah, it
That's
does
what I was
look
gonna
like
say,
a
74.
1970s.
Cause you know what I'm thinking? That's what 74,
Oh,
I'm
I think
thinking
it
that
might
this is filled wetlands here.
Yes, it is.
Oh, it
Yeah.
is. The whole,
That's
yeah, the
filled
whole yard
wetlands.
is.
That's filled wetlands.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
in the soil report that's attached to here.
Yeah,
It is already all filled.
yeah, so I have to tell you right now, I'm not interested in filling it more.
Well,
Right
the
here,
upland
this
area?
area, yeah, I'm not, right now, I am not interested in filling this more and filling it 4 feet deeper. I'm not interested in that. Yeah, that's, yeah. They probably did that to get the driveway in.
In the whole entire house, probably.
Yeah, this area, there's, so I was kind of, I'm trying to orient myself here, I mean, we've got 562, so there's a hill back here
Behind the house, correct.
yeah, behind your home, coming to here, so it's really hard to say what Mother Nature had, but you said that's in the soil report, that this area is filled? Is that what?
No, it's not in the soil report, but if you go out there, it's, in other words, I think you had,
I thought
didn't you have a soil science?
He did, yeah, he did, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
sure that it says it's in there, that it's filled, that the area is filled.
Yeah,
Water probably comes
I mean,
down the
it's
mountain
clear.
or the high area in
It's
the
clear to
back.
go there, that the driveway was raised,
Yeah, it's very, yeah, the driveway was there and
The
they
driveway was raised, when
Yeah.
the house was built, the
Yep.
driveway
was
was
raised,
put in and raised, right?
right.
Yeah.
And they probably poured some dirt in here and filled the wetlands, so I'm sorry to say, I am not interested in making one problem worse, which is to add fill to what is probably an old wetland area. I'm not interested in that. I think we're gonna be okay over here, and I think this is out of the upland review area, I think. I think so.
I think it's right, it's about 75 feet to the property line.
Oh, is that what it
pretty
is?
much.
So maybe it
it's-
just touches
it's
it
right,
well.
right
This-
there.
Yeah, so I'm not too worried about. This, we may move the silt fence here a little bit away from the wetlands, cause your guy has it like right on. We might move it over here,
Okay.
okay? But I have to tell you, you know,
So you're
That's-
opposed to filling the upland area?
no, I believe everything that we can see here from these pictures is
Yep.
this was originally wetland soils, and they filled it to put your driveway in the 70s. There was not, yeah, there was
It's
not.
possible.
It was
Yeah.
built in 1970.
Yeah, it was built in 1970, and there were no wetlands regulations, so really people could
Okay.
do whatever the heck they wanted to. They
Understood.
were not
Yep.
constrained at all besides their own morality.
Understood, and I mean, that's what I was,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying when you came out here, was that, you know, the whole thing was filled.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and I didn't wanna be like the first guy that was up here with the, you know, violation of just filling this in, that's why I'm
No.
Good
here.
idea.
But so, I mean, this,
And
this.
his was very modest, by the way, taking out 2 trees, it was not a
Yeah,
big
no,
deal.
understood.
Yeah,
I mean, but this, right now, is not wetlands.
I know that. To me, it looks like it's filled wetlands, that's what it looks like. It's filled, there were wetlands there, and they've covered it over with other soils.
I can't say whether it was
I
or
know you
wasn't.
can't.
I mean, I know that when he came and did it, he marked the wetlands as being this area here, which coincides with the GIS map.
Well, that could be, but we get to take all information
Understood.
into account, what soil
Understood.
scientists say and what we can see,
Mhm.
you know, on the pictures, which is like one of the reasons that, you know, the commission said, let's go, how does this work again? So. Jim did this one. The soil types were found to be both disturbed and undisturbed and disturbed.
You know, with this fence,
Mhm.
the stone wall, and not much of it shows, that probably also indicates that the land on both sides of the of the wall were filled in. You know, that, because whenever the stone walls were created, they wouldn't create them a few inches above the ground. So that's probably another indication that there was fill there.
Well, this was, I'm sure, as a retaining wall. This stone wall used to run the length of this. There's old
Mhm.
stones in here,
Mhm.
so this was, somebody built a retaining wall that's kind of not there anymore.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah,
Well, it is still probably there, but it's
well,
covered,
yes, on,
you know,
on
it's
this,
covered
on this
over.
side,
Mhm.
it's,
Well, you know, you can
No,
have
it's
fill
just-
just for the sake of, it doesn't necessarily have to be a fill in a wetlands area. Fill could be just to put in, just to maintain some kind of a grade, so, because there's fill there's fill, I don't know if that's correct to categorically just say, because there's fill dictates that it's a wetland. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Mhm. Yep, yes. But you're okay with the garage and the shed?
Yeah, I don't see any big problem. I mean, we're gonna put some distances in here. I would think, again, maybe the silt fence is there because of the grading plan, but I said, I'm not,
correct, yeah.
I have to tell you, I'm opposed to the fill. I'm opposed to it.
On
Madam
both sides
Yeah.
of the ground?
If it's currently not wetlands,
Right.
what jurisdiction does?
It's in the
this
upland
commission
review
have?
area, you know, and I think it is, I'm telling you, I think it's disturbed. It's in the upland review area. So
Mhm.
that's my jurisdiction.
I just wanted to,
Yeah.
for the record, I
Yep.
wanted.
Mhm.
Yep.
So on the other side of the
Yeah.
driveway, is there an issue with this grading area?
That's not sitting right on the wetlands. I'm not worried about that. This one is sitting right on the wetlands there.
So you're thinking you'll do the other side? Yeah.
I would like to do both sides.
He wants
to
I
do
mean,
both.
I would like it
I
to
know.
be, you know, level with the driveway.
Yes.
You know, I have a 4-foot drop in my front yard
Mm-hmm, yeah.
that, like I said, somebody already drove off this embankment
Yep.
down into the yard.
Well, I'm sorry for that, but that
I,
could,
I
you know, I'm sorry for
understand.
that, but, I said, I'm not gonna be supportive. This I'm okay with, that I'm okay with, this I'm okay with. I said, I am not, because, and this, doing this fill in the upland review area and knocking it right up against the wetlands.
Perhaps you could put up, if it's okay with you, some kind of a fence so somebody doesn't drive down. Or some kind of a barrier, you know, at the end of the
Fence,
driveway. You know, on the edge of the driveway there, so that doesn't recur again. A fence, maybe large boulders of some sort.
I mean, is there a way to look back in the records to see if at one time this was wetlands?
No,
Well, it doesn't have to be surface water to be a wetland.
I
Understood.
think if it was filled, it's disturbed, you know, I mean, it's disturbed, it's,
And it's so close, this
Yeah.
is clearly a wetlands.
Well, it's the
Yeah.
upland
No
review, that's
discussion.
the issue.
yeah, well, that's what, yeah, so
And
Jim has flagged those as
Bringing
wetlands.
in, how many yards did you say, 500?
Well, no, this has about 3.
Fill, significant amount of fill that would be
Yeah.
brought in and just very concerned about
I mean, it's not.
keeping it out of the wetlands.
Well, that's,
Even
that is one of my concerns
Yeah,
too,
even
how
if
do you do
this
that?
wasn't wetlands, but I hear what you're saying.
Keeping the
is-
fill out?
Yeah,
I
Well,
mean,
he
I can-
doesn't
I
want
can-
any more cars, you know, driving
no,
over
I
the,
under- I
so,
understand.
you know, if you put up
I
a
mean,
barrier
to
as
keep-
opposed to
I mean,
fill.
the sediment out of the wetlands, I mean, once it's filled, you could hydro seed it, you know, it's gonna have roots. I could do, tree line along the wetlands to, you know, root the soil so that nothing washes, you know, to stabilize the soil on the bank more. I mean, that was the start of all this was really trying to get a front yard in front of my house. I don't have any other really usable
Mhm.
yard on my property to be able to, you know, you can't put a swing set or anything in the backyard. You can't do anything. And technically, this is the side yard of my property. This isn't even the front of my house, which that's where I have all the ability to do anything without having to go jumping through zoning hoops.
Is this okay with zoning, so close to your
Um,
lot line? Is there a setback required?
Oh, yeah, there is. No,
And
I
so-
mean,
Yeah.
when I originally bought the house, I came and I spoke with Fran, and he said, before I do anything,
Mm-hmm.
you know, he understands the hardships of the property.
Mm-hmm.
He said, before you can do anything, he said, you need to come to wetlands and get approval
Okay.
before I can even look at an
Apply for
application.
the-
Yes, correct. Yeah, so I'm
So
gonna
you
need-
haven't been in front of zoning yet? or
Absolutely
anything?
not, no. So I'm gonna need, you know, anything that I do on the property, because I'm within 75 feet of here.
Mm.
This is considered the front of my house, which, from the pictures, I mean, they consider this, that side is over here. That's the front of my house, which
Mhm.
clearly is not the front of the house.
No.
But the town attorney said because the driveway enters here, and the way that the house is positioned and the road comes down, I mean, the whole property is nothing but hardships. So anything I wanna do is gonna require zoning approval and or land use approval. And I wanna do it the right way. I don't wanna
Right.
have to, you know, fill it, pay fines, come back, dig dirt out, you know, I'm not.
No, there's no
I'm not-
point to
I'm
that.
not doing that.
I'll bet that high area behind the house, I'll bet you water flows down into this area here.
It doesn't, because it would have to come across my driveway, which doesn't happen.
It doesn't do that.
No. There's in the back side of the house, they have,
It looks
I don't
like-
get any
looks
water
like this
down
is gonna
here,
get
but it goes
caught, yeah.
to my driveway here. I would have water coming down here and or here, and I don't have water coming down either side. This is
Where do
kind
you
of
think
what-
it flows? Do you have any idea?
Oh, here, on this side, it's gonna come right down
Oh,
these
yeah,
lines.
probably
It's gonna come
down
right down
into-
these lines.
probably into.
Come right down these
I
lines.
see, okay.
Anything that's here probably hits his house. This looks like it's flatter up in here, and this is gonna go
Yeah, there's
down
other
this
houses,
way, and
properties here.
I assume that's a driveway?
That's the driveway.
Yeah, driveway, and might get, might get impeded somehow-ish.
I don't really have water that comes down
Yeah,
either side of the house.
yeah, it's
Like
only,
flowing water, I don't see
yeah,
it.
Unless the
looks like
It
driveway
doesn't
is
come
raised.
across
the
the
driveway's
driveway.
raised and might be
So
sending it
water
one
on this
way,
side of
yeah.
the driveway would probably stay on this side of the driveway.
Yeah, might be finding its way underneath it somehow, that's
Yeah.
possible, but,
Right.
that's just not, we were not seeing it,
Yeah.
so who knows?
We'll see that when the
Yeah.
driveway caves in.
Yes, the driveway caves in.
Well, if it's
Hope
been
that
like that
doesn't
for
happen.
50 years, it
I
probably
don't-
isn't gonna cave
know,
in.
Like I said, I don't have a lot of. I've never seen water come down over there. I
Okay.
mean, I've been there 2 years. I don't see water coming down on this
Were you
side
reading-
or this side.
Was that the wetlands report?
Yeah, I was
Or
reading
soil
that, I mean,
scientist report?
he's done that, I mean, the wetlands report doesn't say anything about, it talks about disturbed and undisturbed, I respect this. It's silent on what's going on here, it doesn't say anything, it doesn't say anything, it doesn't call it out, doesn't not call it out.
Well, does that perhaps say something too?
So before denying this proposed grading
Well,
area,
that's my opinion, as I said, this is a vote, so
Yeah.
that's my opinion, I'm not supportive of this, it's okay with that, I'm okay with. But yes, I'm sorry,
and
I
this
jumped your.
side,
I'm okay, you can do it on this side, that's fine,
Okay.
it's far enough away from the wetlands, this is sitting, like I said, right on the edge of the wetlands, it's in the upland review area, it's sitting on the right, same side as wetlands. So, that's my,
Do you think that report where they
hardship
didn't
with that.
say anything at all about it, do you think that's
I can't think,
You-
I can just read.
Right.
I can't hypothesize. I can just look at that, and I can look at this, and I know what happened, I mean, that's why the driveway's raised. That's one of the reasons the driveway's raised, to avoid this, so.
to avoid the.
Yeah, the wetlands probably went further here, probably did. It probably did, and it was filled in the seventies, because nobody,
Oh, it was probably filled in for the whole.
probably was,
Uh,
probably was, because, I said, because a lot of people didn't care.
Well, it was probably the whole housing development
Could be,
when they
there's
filled
a lot
it.
of that in Brookfield,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
yeah.
Because if you look. Because they had it as reserved for community water back in, this was in 1960, when that lot was already there. So, I mean, it was,
You mean they were gonna put in, city water and sewer, or?
No,
yeah,
it's a well,
I mean, that was in the,
community, a well for the community.
correct, when they created the,
Subdivision.
I mean, that lot was there, so it's, and it was split into 2 lots, so it's not like it was done right in 1970. I mean, the community was built in the 60s. So,
Well, Sharon, can we make, can we, probably is not a very definitive, way of putting it. You said it was probably filled in, but we don't know, wetlands was filled in, probably. Doesn't necessarily mean it was a wetland at that point.
To me, it looks like it was, and I'm objecting because, like I said, it's in the upland review area.
Well, that would be the reason.
Yeah, it's in the upland review
Right,
area,
that
and
would be
there's
the
4
reason.
feet of fill, right, essentially planned for right around, right
Well,
around the
yeah.
wetlands, so that's why
I could go along with the
I'm
fact that,
objecting with
because
that.
it's in the Outland Review,
Yeah,
but basing decisions based on probability that we can't support is not,
I am just looking at it, I'll tell you,
No, I
the
understand.
wetlands report is silent,
Mhm.
I don't know whether Jim went out and did any digging there or
Right.
not, I really don't know, it doesn't say anything one way or another, but just looking at it, it looks like it was filled, so that's another
well,
reason.
and I wouldn't dispute that, it's
Yeah.
just, I think for my position would be, it's more so because it's in the Outland Review that I would probably not be in favor of, okay?
Let's,
And,
Yes.
can we give the applicant the opportunity to produce more information if he?
Or test,
to-
I
yeah.
mean, I'll have them come out and
That might be a
test
good
this area.
idea, or to
If
make
the
it
applicant-
definitive.
If the
Do
applicant
that.
chooses.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's what it's gonna take for me to get approval to do this,
But
or
you may,
denial.
you know, you might be throwing good money after bad, but if you
I
wanna
might-
do that,
I'm just
to
saying,
get a
listen,
definitive
if
answer.
he comes back and says that
Right.
this is.
Can I ask, you
Not
did see the
filled?
property,
Yeah,
I mean,
as long as
if
you're
this wasn't already
happy.
filled, I mean, is that gonna change the fact of me wanting to fill it now?
Yes, I'm just telling you, it did.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
it does.
If it does test that it is wetlands
Or
underneath the
disturb,
fill,
it was
yeah.
filled wetlands.
so you wanna think about that before
So if it
hiring
was filled
someone.
wetlands, I'm not gonna be able to do it.
That's
but-
my opinion.
Correct, but
Yeah.
if it's not filled wetlands, then
Then I think,
then
then it
you
becomes,
guys would say
then
that
there's a possibility.
because
but
it's
we-
not disturbed wetlands at one time.
Yeah, but then there's a possibility, the next thing we need to think about is, I said, whatever you're filling, we have to ensure over a period of time, you know, I'm not gonna be interested in having you fill right to the wetlands line.
Mhm.
You know, there's gonna be a distance between whatever you're filling and this wetlands line.
Okay.
So that will be, if Jim tells you that there is absolutely no wetland soils there never was, it's not disturbed, it's not filled, then the next point would be, we're not gonna be again, I'm just speaking for myself,
Yep.
not raising 4 feet of soil right up against that fence and the wetlands.
Oh, no,
line.
there's gonna be a slope.
What would be
Down
your
to-
opinion
That's what I'm
about,
gonna be interested in.
what,
Yeah.
Okay.
what would be your opinion, how far away from the fence could he fill if there are no wetlands there? How far would he be
I
able to
wouldn't
go with
want
that?
anything more than like, like a 1 to 2 slope.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
was
wouldn't
gonna,
it-
that's what I
1
was
to
gonna be
2, maybe
proposing.
even
I
one-
mean, that's
maybe
what you
even
do
1
for
to-
soil, for.
Yeah, maybe even 1 to 3.
And that I'm fine with. I mean, I wasn't expecting to do like, you know, a drop off. I mean, when I spoke to the contractor, I mean, that's what he was proposing was, you know, a 1 to 2 slope, hydro seeding, so that it takes
Rochelle?
root, you know, within a week or two.
I have a- excuse me, I have a question for our enforcement officer, because you saw the property. Looking at the work that would be required to do that fill, do you think that can be done without disturbing the wetlands? Forgetting what the soil is under it.
So there is, where this fence is, and I think one of the photographs shows the fence, it's a hard line delineation. In other words, the fence is really does delineate exactly where the wetland starts. It's very clear, just even the topography as well as the vegetation. So I was having trouble envisioning how Mr. Phelan was going to be able to, you know, keep the soil away from the wetlands because of that, because it is quite a drop into the wetlands. But he was explaining to me that he was going to have this slope, you know, because I was envisioning, you know, like absolutely having to have a retaining wall, because in my view, that's how much soil you're going to need to fill that in. But you know, if a slope, a 1 to 2 slope, does work there, and then you know stabilize the soil, I would prefer to see the soil stabilized, you know, not so much with lawn grass, but maybe other small
Vegetation.
shrubs or something like that, so that it would have better grip, to prevent any more erosion. I mean, I do think it's a difficult project on that side of the property.
Would you recommend a retaining wall if he's allowed to do it?
I cannot speak to
You
whether
don't think
a
so?
retaining wall is better for the wetlands, because then you have to have weep holes.
Yeah, we
Right,
pass,
you gotta go down 42 inches, it's a whole
Yeah.
problem.
Right.
So it's,
Yeah.
I think it's probably, more invasive.
Right, I agree.
Construction, but I could not, until I went there, envision it, that was really why I wanted to go, without a retaining wall, because it seems to me that we need an awful lot of soil, and as you say, it's 575 cubic yards.
That's both sides.
Right,
So the one side, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the driveway's on a 2 to 1 slope right now.
yeah.
And that's the grade that they have going
Yeah.
down into what's essentially the front yard right now.
Right.
I was just proposing moving that so the bottom of the slope ended where the, what is that, the fence is right now.
Right.
Split rail.
Split rail fence, correct. Yeah, so I
Well,
didn't
you-
wanna grade, flat right to the split rail fence. I know that's not even a possibility because you need to have a grade slope,
Well, you
to
may
prevent
wanna, you
soil.
may, again, as Sharon said, and it's correct, you may wanna get someone to go out there to determine indeed if that is a wetlands, soil
It would be a
scientist.
it would be filled wetlands.
Yeah, if it was
filled
filled.
wetlands.
And again, it's a risk.
Well, yeah, you wanna do it before you pour money into something
Listen,
that might have a dead end.
Agree 100%. It is definitely something that I want to do, otherwise I wouldn't be standing here.
Yes.
I mean,
I
look,
would-
in my view, I think, the reason I even suggested going back and getting more information, because frankly, in my view, and I think I told you this, quite a difficult application.
Oh,
In order, yeah, I think, attempt to get this application through, I think it would behoove you to get information that, bolsters your application, because I think it's probably a difficult application to approve. So that's just my suggestion, the commission, agrees to continue it, if you're agreeable to getting more information to support your case.
yeah, absolutely. I'll have them come and plug some holes and see what's in the ground there. It's only money,
That's
right?
because it comes up here.
Well, yes, but you wanna spend it
See how
judiciously.
it comes up here, it comes up 546, 548, 550, so it's even 4 feet over here. You said it's 4 feet up to your drive-ish.
Well, this is like,
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
if this was a
550.
retaining wall that went all the way across at one time, but this,
Well,
because
nevertheless,
this all
you
used to
said
be
that-
trees. So, and
Yeah.
even this whole thing, like the whole property, when you look at the GIS map,
Yeah,
shows nothing but tree lines.
Yeah.
Like, there's no trees here, there's no trees,
probably were at some point,
yeah,
right?
there's no trees here. Like I said, there's one
Yeah.
or two trees right
Yep.
here,
Yep.
and that's it.
this is
And the
basement.
reason that I'm proposing the garage up here, it's far away from the house, that's realistically the only place that I could put the garage.
Yeah,
To meet the setbacks without having to be,
yeah.
Yes, yep.
right in their yard. I could jump on the other side of here, but you're gonna be right on the property line.
And you said this is just a slab, this is a garage on slab?
Yes, they're gonna do a slab, and
No,
Prefab
no
garage.
footings?
I haven't really determined exactly
Footings
what's
is that big.
required for the garage
It's
yet.
that big, it has to by code.
I would think so.
It's probably,
Yeah,
they might
the
have to
application
do,
says on slab, but I don't think you're gonna get that.
No, if
You're
it's
gonna
that
get-
big, you can't have it, it
Can't.
has to have footings, yeah.
Right.
But, so Mr. Phelan's property is very difficult because too, he has that right of way from the aquarium running right through it.
Oh, good.
Where's the right of way?
there's one here, and then there's also a right of way. Well, not a right of way, but I guess there's a drainage right of way that comes from
Across
this
the road.
catch basin and dumps into the wetlands. So, I'm proposing putting dirt there. The town's dumping the road water into the wetlands.
That happens all the time.
I know.
Sometimes we can get things changed around so that, we can do some, you can take the water and sort of slow it down, put some water bars and stuff in it before it hits the wetlands, so all the salt and the nasty stuff gets dropped, in the soil before it hits the wetlands, but this
You're
wouldn't apply here,
you're gonna have to
of
come
course.
dig up my whole property. to
Yeah,
do
no,
that.
I'm just saying, that wouldn't
No, I
apply
understand.
here, but other properties,
Yes.
we've been able to do some
Understood,
things and
yeah.
everybody's better off. So this also looks, this distance looks, it's 1 to 20, so this distance is, I'm gonna want to get that distance in here to this wetland, here, this wetland flag. I'm gonna get that distance, and get a ruler, I don't have
You
one.
probably have one on the cards there, did you wanna do it now?
Yeah, we can do it now. John, do you see a ruler there? Please? Thank you.
Yeah, we got it.
Also,
Thanks.
professional with us, who helps us out. All right, so 1 to 20. So this is going to be not, yeah, it's about 36 feet, 38 feet, 10.
Oh, 40. If it's,
Not quite 40.
Not quite 40.
Oh, it's not
It's
that far.
38 feet.
okay.
38 feet. Alright, that's good. And if he says he has to end up being it smaller, then it'll just get,
Well, he also said he might be able to move it a little bit, jockey
Well, I
it
think you
away.
already did, right, from the plans last
I don't,
2 weeks ago.
He might,
I
might
mean, I
end up
can
with
go a
something
little,
smaller.
I mean, well, smaller is really only width-wise and
Yeah.
only 2 feet. I came out 2 feet this way,
Yeah,
and I came out 10 feet this way.
from my standpoint, it doesn't matter, 32, 28,
Yep.
40, doesn't much matter. This is the thing that bothers me.
Yeah, the 38
you
feet.
know. So,
So you'd like
any-
to see that further away?
I don't think you can, right?
I
Isn't
mean,
this, no,
That's
no,
a
no.
roadway.
Yeah, well, again, that's, you're not really changing the slopes here. You're not taking any trees down
Nope.
in this area.
There's no trees there.
So, 38 feet is not catching my attention,
Okay.
at least not catching my attention. 12 feet, totally different story, but, 10 feet, 6 feet, like you heard the other one.
From this look, you're not doing it there.
No, and you wouldn't
Yeah.
want to, because that's a big, that's a big adventure, so, again, all right, so, we've talked an awful lot about this.
Yes.
Someone wanna make a motion to continue while we all think about it?
I'll make a motion to continue, let me get the address here.
7 Shirley Court.
Yes, I just can't find my piece of paper. Here we go, 7 Shirley Court, item number W-22-45, to continue to the next scheduled meeting.
November 14th.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Okay, Bob seconds that. Michael made the motion, Bob seconds. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous.
All right.
I
Alrighty,
just have one question. If I can't get him to come out by the 14th,
we'll discontinue.
Yeah, we'll
Well,
do I
continue it.
have to come on the 14th?
No, just
No.
give Rochelle a call
You
and,
can write me an email and say, I request that we continue.
Continue?
Yeah.
and that's easy.
All right.
Is that, I
Yeah, this
don't
was
know,
mine.
is that yours?
Yeah,
Take it,
this was from,
take it, be safe.
thank you so much.
Alright.
Yeah, no,
Good night.
good luck.
Alright, finally, new business. We've got W-22-40 something or another, 72 South Lake Shore Drive. More landscaping and fire pits, I assume, right?
It's one lot, it's now been subdivided into 2 lots, so this lot now has the, existing house with the existing driveway. Actually, I have this is just to show you, this is the map to show that it's been divided. So this was, it was.
The subdivision, right.
It was a subdivision, so this was one big lot,
Huh,
and they made it so,
Split it.
they split it right in half, which is more typical for lot sizes out there.
they were a quarter acre.
So right now, before you.
Excuse me.
No, I'm tired too. This is, right now, there's a large house with a driveway.
Uh-huh.
And this is about a half acre before the split, and then the
Right now.
2 splits are,
About-
give or take, about a
Each
quarter
about a
acre.
quarter, yeah. This was, one will be
This
coming
is
in
the
shortly.
way they want to split it.
Ready, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're proposing, on our
Yeah.
plan, new house.
Yeah.
New driveway with a turnaround.
Yeah.
There'll be a patio. We're gonna replace the existing septic with a new septic. Just,
Where's the roof drains go?
so we have stormwater system up front.
Okay.
So we're we have a trench drain across the driveway, which is catching the driveway.
Yep.
The garage
They're
and
splitting the
half of
lot,
the house.
2
So that
houses,
way,
I
yeah.
guess.
We're actually
but they're only building
reducing the total impervious for the site by about 1,500 square feet.
Yeah.
And there was obviously no stormwater before, so now,
Yeah, which
all
is
this
all
is
better.
getting caught in. And
Yeah.
the driveway's also gonna be, porous pavement, so
Huh.
that'll be another little added benefit. Even though, whatever, if it ever clogs or whatever, we have the trench drain as a safe.
That's interesting. I don't see a lot of porous pavement over there.
Yeah, that's something they wanted. We're
Oh,
doing
alright,
the same thing
great.
next door.
And where's
So
the lake, where's the
this-
lake
this-
relative to this?
What's
Excuse
that?
me?
Where's the lake?
Lake is
Right
right
here.
here.
Okay, all right.
This is like the lake.
And
Okay.
the greenhouse or whatever was there is coming down?
That's on the other property.
That's not in this application.
This one just has the house on it. The greenhouse is on now that their lots are split, the greenhouse is on the other lot.
Oh, this is the property with the existing house,
Correct.
and that's coming down?
coming down,
Okay.
and they're putting a new house up.
Are there wetlands on this?
No, it's only because of the lake, so
Okay.
we're in the
we're in the upper Riviera because you have the 200 feet setback from Candlewood Lake.
And the roof drain here goes into this
So
in
we're
here?
gonna have it come down and it'll just
Daylight here?
daylight and sheet down.
No
It is
wetlands
just
per
this-
se on
this
this
little
property
piece.
though, right?
No,
Okay.
there is no wetlands.
Mhm.
Just this portion, because I have roof drains here for the front, you know, because it'll be. And this is just a slotted deck.
And this is all gonna stay grass?
We're planting, this is all
Yeah, but
proposed
it's
plantings.
grass, but then mulch or mulch?
It's all grass now.
It's all grass now, is it gonna be grass afterwards?
Yes.
Okay, that's
We're-
because it was gonna be mulch, then maybe daylighting into mulch is not a good
No,
idea.
it's gonna be grass.
Okay.
And there's the 440,
The
so
440 line is
this
here.
is not,
All of our
up to us.
activities are above, you know, that we're just doing plantings, which is
Mhm.
required by First Light when you buy a
Mhm.
new house, when you change ownership of a property. You have to have like 75% of your area's gotta be planted now. I think it's 75, right?
I don't know.
That's a good rule.
Yep. It's like a buffer planting, just,
Right.
but none of the proposed, other than the plantings, all of the septic, everything is outside of the, you know, it's on our property.
So this daylight's at 442, is that what this
Correct,
is?
yep.
Daylight's at 442, so you got 5 feet to go, was that 5 feet to go, 2 feet-ish?
Oh, it looks like about that, the 10's go, right?
Well, 1 inch is 10, so you got 7 feet or so, 5
it's
feet.
About 5 feet, 6
Okay,
feet.
5 feet.
Which is
And then
what-
it's and then what happens down here?
Here's the next one,
Oh,
430.
438, so it's a rather gentle, that's a rather gentle slope.
Yep.
And you think daylighting on that slope is not gonna create any erosion here?
I could put some riprap if you want me to add some.
I don't know if
riprap.
they would like riprap in their yard.
No, well,
um,
it's kind of, and like I said, it's just this it's just this portion of the roof, so it's not a lot of runoff. It's just the roof drains.
I mean, the only other thing you could do would be to so this is all grass, 442
Yeah.
down to 440 over 5 feet, so it's 2 to,
To do stormwater, I have to be, if I do a rain garden, which I looked at, I have to be 25 to 50 feet. You
Yeah.
know, and First Light, they don't like stormwater too close to the lake.
right, I know,
So
right.
Kind of and because we have the septic, so I can't put something here. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't get it up because of the grade. So like I said, I got, you know, half the roof, the garage, the driveway. So it's just this little portion.
Where's your reserve, your septic reserve?
Because it's a tear down rebuild, you actually don't have to show a reserve area.
Because it's in what?
A tear down rebuild.
Oh, okay,
I actually talked to Paul the other day about it,
Hmm.
and
interesting.
8 over 5.
I think it's even noted on here because it's a. I saw it in here. Yeah, reserve septic leaching area is not required for existing house lot.
Yeah, obviously there's no perk test on this or anything like that.
We did do some perk tests out there, for the new, because we're replacing the septic. The perk was, 20
You
minutes.
didn't run into any groundwater, I guess that's what I'm interested in.
There was mottling at 76, so it was pretty deep.
76 feet, yeah, 6 feet down.
Yeah.
I think,
Looks pretty straightforward.
well,
Yeah,
it does, I'm just,
To-
like I
to
said,
me
I'm
it
just,
does also.
I'm
I
just a
concur.
little, I'm still not, I'm gonna probably just think a little bit about, you know, I understand, you don't wanna have riprap in the middle of the yard. I mean,
Right.
it's just gonna be a nuisance. you
They're gonna
know.
take it out.
Then they're gonna take it out, right.
Let's be honest, right? 'Cause
Right.
they're gonna mow the lawn.
They're
This is
gonna
all
mow the
grass,
yard.
So they're gonna mow, when they mow the lawn, they're gonna remove
Th-
it.
Think about what could be done with that,
I don't know if there's
if there's anything that we can do to,
so it comes out at 442.
Mhm.
and it's just gonna be a pipe
Just a
com-
pipe.
coming out of,
Yeah, daylights.
yeah.
So I can't move it back any further because of the septic, you know, up the hill further because of the septic.
Is there anything we could do to maybe, again, to maybe diffuse it without riprap? Can you bring this to maybe a Y or something like that? Could it be daylighted twice? Maybe half the water goes one way and half goes the other? I mean, something that might just help with any possible erosion. That's all I'm thinking about. Right now it daylights.
Well, you don't want, cause you don't want a lot of bends.
Right. You don't
Because
want,
of leaf litter from
Right.
the gutters, which can clog,
yeah,
so you don't like bends.
right.
So a Y makes me nervous, cause then it clogs and it causes problems.
Once you take,
I could put, I could do the riprap, I could maybe, how close am I to the property, some 6 feet per the property. I could do a little, with some pea stone, river rocks or something, so it's a little nicer, so it's just not like riprap.
Is there any sort of like I
I'm
don't know.
trying
Let me
to-
Yeah,
just
but
think.
once again,
Let me
as
just
you
think
said
about it, for what else
before,
we could do that would, just having riprap there just doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm with you on that. It just
Yeah,
doesn't make a lot of
it's-
sense.
they're gonna get rid of it.
They're gonna,
the new
I think
owners.
you're right, they're gonna get rid of it.
No, 'cause it's gonna be a high-end house, obviously it's gonna be.
I don't know. I'm okay with the whole thing. I just wanna think about this a little bit. Maybe there's something we can do. I mean, I appreciate that it's just,
It's like 400 square feet of runoff that's getting down there.
yeah.
It's not really as much as you think.
All right, well, I'm gonna think about it. You're gonna think about it. We're all gonna
All
think
right.
about it. I don't think,
We'll
other
continue
than
this
that, I
till
don't,
the
I don't
next
see any
meeting.
problems with this at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't either.
Diana and I'll knock our heads together, see if we can come up with something.
I don't know, is
Yeah,
there
you
something,
just
could
do
you put a
something that's
dry well in there or
reasonable,
something like that?
obviously.
But I can't because of the septic.
Ah, okay.
That's the problem.
I mean, even, well,
Because
Yeah.
you have to, I have to maintain certain separation. Dry wells be 50 feet.
okay,
So
Yeah, that's
I'm
no
all the
good
way, 50 feet is down to here.
okay.
And when I'm down to here, first light will tell me no.
Well, and I think that's a good no, because I think, well, all right, we're all gonna think about it, you're gonna think about it, we're gonna think about it, we'll be here in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I gotta come back.
Other than that, I
anyway.
don't see any problems at all.
Okay. It's pretty straightforward.
It is.
And I'm reducing the impervious that goes to the lake now.
Great.
So you had, I'm reducing by 1,500 square feet.
Yeah.
And of
Yeah.
that, so what's running off down to the lake?
It's more
tremendous.
erosion, that's
No,
what
I
I'm,
know.
because I see that, I see that in places where they've got these roof drains, and
I
then you
have to
get a
tell you,
big,
my roof drain is in my yard and it is on a slope. And once the lawn is established, I have never seen erosion from it.
well, good. Good. Plan
The
is
rest of
working.
the areas, all because they redid my septic, is
Oh, that's yours. I'm on.
One day.
No, that's my pile.
All right.
All right, this goes back. All right, someone make a motion to continue this to our
I
next meeting?
would make a motion that we continue item W-22-46 regarding 72 South Lake Shore Drive until the next regularly scheduled meeting
Have a
on
second?
November
14th.
14th. There's my
Yeah,
calendar.
I actually
my
don't think
walking-
you need the date.
I don't-
because-
I normally
Because
don't,
something could
but-
happen with that,
Okay.
so I think just the next
Yeah,
regularly
next scheduled
scheduled
Okay.
meeting, so,
And our,
I mean, it doesn't normally, but it could.
and our
Yes,
applicant
of
is
course,
good
we
at
could have
knowing
a
when the
hurricane.
meetings
You
are.
could have a hurricane, right. All right, so who seconded
I'll
it?
second.
Bob seconded
Thank
that.
you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous.
Good night, everyone.
All
Good
right, so
night.
now we have a draft calendar here.
I
And
have
the
no
other thing,
problem with those dates.
Gotta make sure there are no holidays or anything.
they usually figure that out, and I think sometimes it's only a matter, it's only, yeah, so there's no Christmas, after Christmas meeting, that's a good thing. There's no
How
after-
about July, oh, wait a minute, there isn't a July 4th in there, July 10th, yeah,
There's no
okay.
Christmas meeting, it's usually Christmas and then only one in October, and that's usually what creates the discussion. All right, someone,
We're only gonna have one in December next
Yep.
year, but 2 in October. Okay.
All right, well, then I'll
Wh-
make a I'm sorry, Nate?
Wait, no, I just wanted to look at it again for a second.
All right, I'll make a motion then to approve the draft 2023 IWC meeting dates as provided.
I'll second that.
Michael seconds that. You wanna keep looking at it?
Yeah, no, I'm okay with
All
it.
right.
We can always make changes
We
during
can
the year
always
if
make
there's a
changes.
problem.
That is indeed correct. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion Michael. Michael seconded that. so-
Seconded it.
Seconded it. So, motion carries unanimous. All right, that's done. Correspondence, we don't have any. Proposed updates, it's late, we're not gonna talk about those today, but please keep them on the agenda. The review of the minutes.
I have no
I have
problem
no
with
problem.
either of them.
Okay, you wanna make two
So
motions
I
then,
will make a
please?
motion to approve the minutes of the September 26th regular meeting and the October 17th special meeting.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so both minutes are approved as written. Informal discussion.
I'm tired.
I
Yeah,
am
me
too.
too.
I have one item, Madam Chair.
Oh,
I know
okay.
you're all tired.
Sorry.
I'm tired too, I have to drive an hour, so, I wanted to just say, for informal session, I have a question of why, whenever you approve an application, you say it's going to be, effective the day after publication.
Because that's our understanding of when it's effective.
You mean by statute?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you think we're wrong?
I do.
Okay, well then,
When
Oh,
is
well,
it?
then what would you
Corrected.
recommend?
If you approve the application, it's valid the moment you approve it. The reason that you're thinking about this, idea is because from the date it's approved, anyone has 15 days to appeal the decision.
Right.
But that day after approval thing only relates to somebody's ability to appeal.
Well,
that's-
people wouldn't know about the possibility of appealing until it was published.
Yeah, that was my thought of why.
Well, I have to tell you that I only do it just because that's how we did it when we were here, and it's how we did it in zoning,
Well,
and
this
I
one
stand
sure
corrected.
frightens me.
Yeah.
Because people I've been
Well, we'll fix
turning
it.
these kinds of things over in
Yeah.
not only wetlands, but
We'll fix it.
Yeah, so I think, I just wanted to
So
ask
what
if
should
there
we
was
do?
a-
Just not put that in there at all?
You should simply say, your application is approved.
Okay, all right.
And, yeah.
But how would people who weren't here know the application was approved?
Because
That's
will
why
be
it's
published.
it will
published.
be published, and it's also in the minutes.
Did they
so-
have 15 days from the date of publication?
And that's where I think the confusion must have come
Okay.
some time ago, that you do have from 15 days from, but the date of publication could be 15 days hence. The commission has 15 days to publish it, and then, and if the commission doesn't publish it, the applicant can publish it.
But
So
they can start working tomorrow morning.
they can start working this tomorrow morning at their own risk, because the applicant would still have 15 days from the date of publication. Do you see what I'm saying?
As long as it's clear,
The permit
because
is valid.
you want
until-
people to be able to appeal if
Yes,
they
well, I
can.
just like to stick to the statutes, that's my thing.
Understood, but shouldn't it somehow be made clear to the applicant that
We'll
if
just
they
have to make
start
it-
tomorrow, they're at risk of there being a appeal and,
Well, usually it's at the risk of because listen, even if let's say we say, okay, it's gonna be valid the day after publication, and we publish it,
Yeah, that-
not tomorrow, but on Wednesday,
Yeah.
okay, because we could publish it on
there's
Wednesday.
still the same issue.
Still the same, right.
Yeah,
So
no,
the
you're
onus
right.
is always on the applicant or the permit holder to know what the stipulations are.